Welcome everybody to a special show here. Well, every show is special here on the O'Shea Duke Jackson channel. I'm your host, O'Shea Duke Jackson, and today I want to bring on a very special guest. I was referred to him by one of our moderators, Young J216, and he's told me, there's a brother out here that is doing some great things as far as repair credit, loans, business credit. And I was like, well, who is he? And then Young Jay went into his thing like, yo, man, I got a guy who wants to interview you. So really, Young J216 was telling him that I wanted to interview him and telling me that I need to interview him. So that's kind of how me and brother E.D. and Cole became acquainted. And so I've been trying to bring the brother on for the last 2 or 3 weeks off that recommendation. And so I just want to say that I'm glad to have him. And today's topic that he wanted to rock with today is how to be a black man in business loans and business credit. And today I see brother Trucker Brown here today. I want to introduce to others the E. Dean Cone U-Team channel. What's going on, brother?
I am winning, my man. How you feeling, O'Shea? You having a good day today?
Man, I'm trying to get rich like you, brother, but it's hard dealing with these Negroes.
I do everything in my power, man, to make sure that you are good. Can you guys hear me okay and see me okay?
Yeah, I do hear you and I do see you okay. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. That's good stuff. So, but yeah, so for everybody well, first, thanks so much for that introduction. I got to make sure I produce and perform now. So if you guys are watching for the first time and you don't know who I am, my name is E. Dean Cole, and I own Dean Cole Financial. We are a consulting firm, and we specialize in working capital, alternative finance, and business credit development. I am a best-selling author, a number one best-selling author, a motivational speaker, a business and credit coach. So what I do is on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, I go live and I do a lot of live Q&As and I teach. So I do want to shout out Young Jay, who happens to be a trucker, who did set this up. So he did like a blind date, like he told O'Shea about me and then told me about O'Shea. And then we just kind of, and it worked very well too. So I appreciate him. And I've been doing a lot of research about the manosphere. You dig what I'm saying? Getting down with the manosphere. I want you to help indoctrinate me into the manosphere and help me to understand what this manosphere movement is all about.
All right. Well, we're definitely going to help you get into that. But brother Dean, let me kind of just ask a little bit about yourself, because you have a very successful channel. I mean, you've been growing like crazy. And yes, you have a big YouTuber that's in the mix, Trucker Brown.
Yeah, that's actually one of my clients, one of my business partners and best friends.
One of the biggest trucking channels on YouTube. I mean, even I know who he is. I heard of him. Yeah, heard a lot of good things about you.
Bring him on, man. Bring him on for one of the panels. Bring him on the show. I was talking to him about you earlier today. I was telling him that I was going to be on your show. So if you YouTube, O'Shea and TB should definitely collab. I think y'all should definitely collab.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going. And brother, reach out to me because I heard a lot about you. But let me ask you this, brother Cole. Mm-hmm. You didn't just get here out of nowhere, right? You know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. Tell people, what's your experience? How did you get into the ability to consult with what you do? Let's talk about your previous experiences in this particular business.
So actually, I didn't get on YouTube to do YouTube. I've had clients like Trucker Brown, Chase and Andrew Jackson, Lotion Parks, Steel Hoggin TV, that are nice size YouTubers. And so I was broadcasting on Facebook, just teaching about my business and what I do. And they were the ones that told me to get on YouTube. So I have 19 years of experience in banking and finance. So I started out when I got out of school. I didn't go to college, period. When I left school, I went and started working at MCI WorldCom, and I was making good money at MCI. You understand what I'm saying? And I was climbing the corporate ladder, and I hit the ceiling because I was too young, I was too ambitious, I was too flashy, unapologetic, even at that age. And I bought my first property at the age of 18. And when I bought my first property, I met my mentor who taught me real estate. So when I was working on getting loans and whatnot, I came across one of my first mentors, Martha Flores. I'll never forget Martha Flores. She was a loan officer. And it took me a year to be able to get ready to purchase my first property underneath her, learning from Martha and learning from Pat, my mentors. And I was like, so Martha, what is it that you do? And she told me, how to be a loan officer. And she was like, oh, I make like 120,000 a year. I said, really? I said, I can quit doing what I do and do this full time, and it'll make me a better investor. So at the age of 20 is when I left and just dove headfirst into banking and finance. And my first year, I probably made 13 or 15,000. For the whole year, I sucked. I sucked at being a loan officer. But I loved it. I loved what I did. And Martha taught me the game of banking and finance. She taught me underwriting guidelines. So in order for me to get paid, because I had what's called a commission versus a draw. So I would get paid a little $300 a week as a draw, and then I would close loans in order to work, to eat. And so she taught me how to reverse engineer approvals. So that's the reason why our consulting firm has a 98% approval rating, because she taught me banking and finance law, which allowed me and taught me underwriting guidelines, which allowed me to be a better loan officer. So after that, then, the rest is history. And we are where we are today. So the last company that I worked for, the last major company that I worked for before I started my own consulting firm was Wells Fargo.
Let's talk about working for Wells Fargo, and because you're obviously, as you're getting better, you're doing so much, probably doing really well in corporate America. What made you leave to start doing what you're doing today?
That's a very good question. Because I have the soul of a free man. I've never really liked working for anybody else. I never really liked laboring to make anybody else rich. I felt like everywhere I went, I was always rubbing somebody the wrong way when it came to politics. And I'm not the type to kiss somebody's butt. And so I've always desired to own my own business, but I had a lot of self-limiting beliefs, and I didn't think that it was even possible for me to own my own business. So I had to get past a lot of my self-limited beliefs, which I did. And I didn't like how with Wells Fargo, the reason why a lot of people get turned down for loans is because they're not set up the right way. Now, when I was working at Wells Fargo, I could not tell my clients why they were being denied, because that's a violation of the Fair Credit Lending Act. When you work for a lending institution, you can't tell somebody, do this, that, and the third so you can be approved. Like, you remember Warren Ballantyne? You ever heard of Warren Ballantyne before? Oh, shoot, my cigar fell.
No, I've never heard him before.
All right, Warren Ballantyne. If it wasn't for Warren Ballantyne, then it wouldn't be a me, or not saying it wouldn't be you, but what he did was he was one of the first radio personalities that was a content creator that was very pro-Black and very much so about the advancement of the African-American man specifically. Now let's do a temperature check. How many of you guys in the chat, have you ever heard of Warren Ballantyne? So if you're watching me for the first time, I teach and it's very interactive. So let's look at the chat. So if you ever heard of Warren Ballantyne, I want you to say heard of him. 3 words, heard of him. If you've never heard of him before, I want you to say never have, okay? The real boy dog is in the building. Happy to be a client of mine. Hey, real boy dog, how are you doing? All right. All right. O'Shea says never have. I appreciate that. Okay. So Charles says nope. The real boy dog says I used to listen to him. And the freedom fighter, absolutely. So you know about the real boy dog. All right. So C to God 1 says never have. James E says never have. All right. Malik says, I've heard of him. All right. Let's see who have heard of him. All right. Let's see who else has heard of him. All right. What's that? Divine Haley says they've heard of him. Jermaine White says they've heard of him. Okay, good stuff. All right. Eli says he's heard of him. K Johnny says never have. Omega Dread says never have. Okay. A real engineer says you heard of him. So Warren Ballantyne was one of the first unapologetically Black men to teach about the advancement of the African-American man. So they railroaded him. He actually got indicted for mortgage fraud because the real estate investor, not the real estate investor, the real estate attorney that was helping originate loans, they were helping people to get approved, not in a negative way. So when you are working for a lending institution, it is against the law to do that. So that's why I wrote my first book. I quit. I wrote my first book, and I was working for a consulting firm that was completely separate. I still have my NMLS ID. I still have my Safe Act, like my fingerprint is still saved with the federal government right now as a loan originator. And so I quit and started working for a construction consulting firm. And then I wrote my first book, How to Start a Business, even if you have bad credit, no credit, and with no personal guarantee. That's the one that became a number one bestseller. And from there, that gave me the confidence to step out and do my own consulting firm. And that's how I end up to this point. So I've been doing my own consulting firm for the past 3 years now.
Let me talk about something that you asked or you said.
Mm-hmm.
First, you had some self-limiting beliefs.
Yes, sir.
Talk about those self-limiting beliefs that may have kept you in corporate America or kind of had you scared and you got over them. What are those self-limiting beliefs?
It's so funny. When I was working for the last consulting firm, like 90% of my clients was like, why are you working here? They're like, you know how to get us money. Why don't you get yourself money? Now, a lot of them were Caucasian. A lot of them were because the African-American man feels as if they cannot get a loan or they can't start a business because they are afraid. So let's do a temperature check again. Like I said, this is interactive. If you're watching this right now, even if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to participate with us as if you were watching us live. So if you want to own a business, but you have not because of fear, I want you to say fear. All right. If you are an entrepreneur and you still have fear about having a successful business, I want you to say it's me. If you want to be an entrepreneur and you do not have fear, but you want to be an entrepreneur, I want you to say will be. All right. So if you want to be an entrepreneur and you are afraid, I want you to say fear. If you are an entrepreneur and you still have the fear of growing your business, I want you to say it's me. If you want to be an entrepreneur and you're not afraid, I want you to say will be. So those are the three people. I want you to participate with me, guys. So even though I'm talking to O'Shea, I'm talking to you guys as well. Okay, so JL King says will be. Absolutely. Thank you so much for participating. We got Infamous NYC says will be. James Miller says it's me. Okay, thanks for being honest, James Miller. I appreciate that. All right. The Melanite Order says can't wait. Just type numbers. I'm driving. Okay. Okay. All right. A real engineer says will be. Brendan Phillips says will be. Awesome. Thank you for participating. So the real boy dog says fear and will be LOL. Well, the real boy dog actually just enrolled into my course last week. He happens to be a client of mine. So nevertheless, so that's what it was, O'Shea. I was getting $150,000, $200,000, $75,000, $50,000 for all these Caucasian individuals, right? And they was like, why can't you do it for yourself? Like, and I was like, man, I got this child support I got to take care of because I have a 10-year-old daughter. And I was like, I got a daughter I got to take care of. I need consistent money to come in. Like, I can't just up and start a business. Like, and they was like, well, you were able to get us funding. How come you can't get yourself funding? And I could, because we specialize on how to build business credit that's 100% separate from your personal credit. So even though personal credit, that's why we give out free credit repair. We, as a consulting firm, we teach free credit repair. We give it to you free. The reason why is because we get paid from the banks to get you loans. So we will give you free credit repair to get you to make it faster and easier. But there's some people, they don't want to do a personal guarantee, which is fine. So we teach you how to build business credit that's separate from your personal credit. And so I sat down and I thought about it. I was like, okay, so I put down all of my expenses on a piece of paper, because when a client, I never forget, Rich asked me this question. He's a Caucasian gentleman out of Oklahoma. And he was like, I ain't never had a job in my life. He said, I've always worked for myself, multimillionaire. And I helped him get $175,000. And he was the one who said that he's like, I'm ashamed of you, Dean. That's what he said. He said, you should be working for yourself instead of working for this consulting firm or whatever. He was like, I'm coming through Atlanta. I want to sit down and have lunch with you. And I sat down, and he was at Hartson, Jacksonville International Airport. I sat down with him. But nevertheless, I wrote down on a piece of paper all of my self-limiting beliefs. I got to pay child support. At the time, my child support was only $700 at the time. You did want to say we can talk about that a little bit later. So I wrote down my child support. I wrote down my rent. I wrote down my car note. I was like, okay, if I live very meager, how much do I need to take care of all of my bills? And I wrote everything down, and everything came up to like 3,500. So I was like, okay, I just closed the deal, and I had 35. I literally had like 3,500 in commission. It was a little bit more, like 3,750. But I was like, okay, so I was like, okay, God, this must be you. Right. So I had 1 month. Yeah. So I had 1 month of all of my expenses. And I was like, if I could just get 3 months and I just say, you know what, let me just jump, let me just step out on faith. But I did. Now there's a difference between faith and foolishness. A foolish person would have took that $3,500 and jumped out there, and then they would have been broke, busted, and disgusted, begging somebody for a place to stay. I wasn't going to do that because I had my daughter. And if you don't pay child support in Atlanta, Georgia, you get they'll put child abandonment on you. You get locked up.
Okay.
And my ex-wife, she don't play the radio. She don't play. She don't play. So I was like, all right. So I said, okay, well, all I need is $20,000. That's why in my course, I guarantee that you get $20,000 because this is the same steps that I did when I had to fight my self-limiting beliefs. Now, the average person that's enrolled into my course, they get $100,000. Like if you go on my YouTube channel, there is a playlist called Success Stories, and you can see all of, not all of them, but you can see a lot of success stories. There are people that got 400,000, 50,000, 100,000, but we under promise and we over deliver. That being said, that was the steps that I took. I said, you know what? I can do this. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. So I wanted to partner up with one of my homeboys. He's still right now to this day working at a consulting firm. He does the same thing that I do. And he and I was going to partner up together. He was like, bro, we need $1 million because we need to have this, we need to have that. And I was like, dude, I'm not doing it. I can't save up no $1 million. I was like, you know what? I need $20,000. Let's go ahead and make it happen. So I had my that 3750 that I had in commission. Then I originated for myself. It took me 3 months to originate 20,000 for myself. And then I said, you know what? I ain't doing it no more. And I left. And thank God I never looked back. And surprisingly enough, bro, I did not have to tap into those resources. What I did was all the energy and effort from 9 to 5 I was putting into that consulting firm, I put in myself, and I just kept closing loans. And I never had to touch that reserve. But having that reserve gave me the confidence to trust myself. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's basically the story of that. I don't know if I've ever told that story before.
Okay, let me do this. While Brother Cole is taking a puff on that Swiss cigar. Let me shout out to the brothers that have supporting on Super Chat and have something to say here. Guys, and do me a favor, get the likes up on the video. And for those people who want to subscribe to ED and Cole, I know people are complaining about the notifications. They be hating on this channel. We have only 120 people watching, but go into the description and subscribe to him. Let me read some Super Chats off. Wake the hell up. He says, great info, brothers in O'Shea. Thanks for all the hard work you do with us. Salam to the broads doing the hard work with the Negro Menace for guests to speak. Here's a tip for your next Afrocentric lady. Well, I'm going to trick it off. So I'm just letting you niggas know. Trucker Brown, I pay for money, talk, support. Thank you so much, Brown. Look so much forward to working with you, brother. Black American Intellectual, thank you so much. My brother, Julian Brown, he's also subscribed to you and me. Thank you for the power super chat. And brother James Miller, real solutions that can help the community. Thank you, brother James Miller. Let me talk to you about this, brother Cole. In business, I was having a debate. Well, because I have those legendary hangouts on my other channel.
Yes. And I can't wait to be a part of those hangouts, my man. That look like fun to me, bro. I love intellectual judo. That's what I call it.
Yeah. So tomorrow we definitely can't wait to get you on. One guy was saying that being black in business, for him, he doesn't see how it can hurt you. You don't go through, as long as you're good and you're not gonna have the same. And basically, you're not gonna have any issues being black in business as a man. But let's talk about that before we get into the loans or the credit.
Absolutely.
What struggles have you had when you were in corporate America or even now, being a black man? You are, like I said, you got that flash, you know what I mean? You're real clean. What your style is real elegant. What flashes, what situations have you faced as a brother in business? We ain't talking about loans or credit, just some of the adversities you had to overcome.
Absolutely. Now I want to talk. That's good. I do want to talk about that because my next book I have is called Black Owned: How to Start and Grow Your Black Owned Business.
Mhm.
We have a lot of self-limiting beliefs. We assume that we're going to be marginalized, so we attract negativity to us. That is the law of attraction. It don't matter if you're black, white, yellow, Puerto Rican, or Haitian. If you expect negativity, your expectation will bring about your manifestation. So that's why you have to change your way of thinking off the rip. That's the first thing. The
Mhm.
second thing is yes and no. So in corporate America, I received so much because I am unapologetic, woke. You dig what I'm saying? I don't scratch my head unless it itch. I don't dance unless I hear music. I stand 10 toes down for what I believe in. You dig what I'm saying? I believe in the advancement of the African American community, especially the African American diaspora from the U.S. So I received a lot of that, and on the business aspect of it, a lot of times we think that black people can't get loans. We think that, oh, if a black person goes to the bank, he's going to be marginalized against, or he's going to be turned down because of redlining. So let me teach for a little bit, O'Shea. How many of you guys have ever heard of redlining? Okay. If you have heard of redlining, I want you to say have heard. If you've never heard of redlining before, I want you to say never have. Okay. So let me go ahead so I can explain what redlining is. O'Shea says have heard of it. Okay, awesome. Thanks, O'Shea. So redlining, let's do a temperature check. Let's see before I get into it. Let's see. O'Shea says have heard. Okay, somebody said something about Nigerians. It says this brother is talking about facts with corporate America. Absolutely. They always want you to tap dance. Listen, I don't scratch my head unless it itch, and I don't dance unless I hear music. All right, so Black American Intellectual says yes. All right, Roscoe says have heard. Fitness Guru, finesse, is that fitness or finesse? Or fitness Guru says never have. All right, See the God One says never have. Maurice Anderson says have heard. James E says have heard. Okay, awesome. Most of you guys said you've heard of it. Now, redlining is basically the United States of America, the powers that be, they would actually set aside under, they would set aside the ghettos, and they would set aside the even consider white trash in different areas. But it all goes back to the union workers. So if you were a union worker, you stayed in a union town. And if you stayed in that union town, what they would do is they would redline the states, and they would make an invisible wall of the rich and the poor. And a lot of people call it regentrification or gentrification. You experience a lot of that in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, back in the day when your grandmama and your granddaddy went to the bank to try to get a loan, that did have its place, because the United States of America redlines you based on your social security number. So I'm about to do something right now. So O'Shea, where are you from originally, my man? I know you're in Poland right
Sacramento,
now.
California.
All right, so you from Sacramento, California. We're
Yes.
about the same age, right?
Roughly, I believe, yes.
Okay, so in California, I'm about to tell you something right now. So your social security number is made up of 3 different codes. It is your area number, your group number, and then the last 4 identifications. So the first 3 numbers is your that is known as your group number. So if you were in California, let me tell you, this is gonna blow your mind. All right, hold on for a second. Let me pull up California. Where are you at? California. So O'Shea, you're in your 30s, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that means that the first 3 of your social is anywhere from 545 to 573, anywhere in between those. That's the first 3 of your social.
That is correct.
Absolutely. So I don't know you, but if I have this, if I can identify. So let's do somebody else. So who else wants to jump on this? So if you tell me where you're from, I want if somebody that's in their 30s, or that was born that were 80s baby, or even a 70s baby, or 60s baby. If you were born anywhere after year 1995, I want you to tell me what state you're from, and I will be able to tell you the first 3 digits of your social. So somebody says DC. Big Brother in Life says DC. All right, so Big Brother in Life, if you were in Washington, that means that the first 3 of your social is anywhere from 531 to 539. If anybody that's watching that's in Washington, if that's you, I want you to say OMG. And big brother in life. If that's true, I want you to say OMG. So we're gonna do Jack Charles. Jack Charles says he's in New York, and a couple of people are in New York. So if you were in New York, the first three of your socials is either 050 up until 134. All right. So look, big brother in life says OMG. You see that? I don't even know this dude. So everybody that's in NYC, it starts with either 050 or 134. If that's correct, I want you to say OMG. Come on, guys, participate with me. Y'all are commenting. Who said New York? So Jack Charles, let me know. Who else said New York? Infamous, what was that? Well, infamous NYC. Let me know. All right, JR says that's easy stuff. That's easy to you because you have been educated. The #1 best-selling book of all time says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. It says, how can they hear without a speaker, and how can he speak except he be sent? So JR, that's easy for you because you have access to it. It wasn't easy for me. I didn't know this until I started working at the banks. So somebody educated you. So now it's our job to educate others. Because I was working at the banks, I'm able to understand that. But everybody don't understand that, JR. Mm-hmm. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All right, so JR says, indeed. Okay, so nevertheless, all right, so infamous NYC says OMG. All right, so Life of Business says, you're wrong. I disagree with you. You might not be old enough, but it is what it is. So let me break that down. So basically, like I said, you have to be of a certain age and you have to be from there. I don't mean you was born somewhere else and then you moved there when you was young. I'm talking about where you were born. So that being said, because you were born there, the government assigned you a social security number. So back in the day, in the 60s and the 70s, then what happens is that people will go into the banks and then you will be discriminated against because of that. But in the 70s, they created the Fair Credit Lending Act. And so because they created that in the 70s, that went away with that. So now there's something that's called a post-randomization number. They don't use the same things that they use to build socials that they did before. So because of that, now that evens the playing field. So yes, that does have its place. Back in the day, the older individuals you will be marginalized against because of your sexual proclivity and because of your ethnicity. Like even Equifax used to put down if somebody on their credit report, they will put down if somebody was having an affair. They will find out dirt about you and put that on your credit report. Did you know that, O'Shea?
I didn't know that. No.
Mm-hmm. If you were a homosexual, they will put that on your credit report. If you had illegitimate children and they found that out, they would put that on your credit report. So that's why people talk about the FDCRA, which stands for the Fair Debt Collection Reporting Act. So because of the Fair Debt Collection Reporting Act, that put away with a lot of the misinformation on your report. So once they came out with the FDCRA, the Fair Debt Collection Reporting Act, they changed that. Equifax actually used to give out bonuses to their employees if they found out more information about you. So a lot of that misconception has been trickled down into our generation. Unfortunately, in the African-American community, we are educated by uneducated people. We do what uneducated people did because they guessed at what it was to be successful at certain things. They don't have people like a O'Shea Jackson or somebody like a JR that can sit down and teach them and educate them. Like I said, how can they hear without a speaker, and how can he speak except he be sent? And a lot of times people who have the answer don't go out to give the answer because they are afraid of the ridicule. They're afraid to be ostracized. They are afraid of the pushback. And also now, well, back then they didn't have the technology to just do a conference call or video chat with somebody in New Orleans and somebody in Poland. Mm-hmm. So that being said, that is what leveled the playing field. When you build a legitimate business, check this out, O'Shea. When you go to the club right now, if they say you can't get in with jeans and a t-shirt on, and if you go to the club, you might be a black man or you might even be a Latino man, and you go to the club and they don't let you in. If you don't know that there's a dress code, a lot of times people will say, well, they didn't let me in because I'm black. But no, it's because of the dress code, right? Mm-hmm. Or they say, oh, they didn't let me into the club because I'm Latino. That's not accurate. If you have the dress code in, they'll let you into the club. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So that's what happens a lot of times in the African-American community. They have absolutely no idea about business structure. They don't know that they can't They don't know that they can't go to a bank with zero business credit without a paydex score. And they just go to the bank and say, okay, I'm gonna go to Wachovia, which is Wells Fargo, and say, you know what, I'm gonna give me a bank for $50,000. And then they're denied. And the first thing they say, oh, you did that because I'm Black. Do you know anybody right now that they automatically assume that things do not go their way because they're Black, or because they are a woman, or because they are, or they have this chip on their shoulder of some injustice or prejudice? If you know somebody like that, I want you to say know them. All right. If you know somebody like that, I want you to say know them. And if it's you and you can be honest, the first thing that comes to your mind is, you did that because I'm Black, or you did that because I'm this or I'm that. I want you to say it's me, if you can be honest about it. So let's do a temperature check. So Mahid says interesting. So that's what happens a lot of times, is that, like I said, people perish for lack of knowledge. They are assuming that it's because that they're denied for their loan because they're Black, but it's because they're using a Gmail as their email address. Those are the things that stop you from being approved. Or they assume that they're being denied because the name of their business is Pro-Black Enterprise, but it's because Pro-Black Enterprise uses a cell phone as their business phone number.
Oh, okay.
So there are different underwriting guidelines that causes you to be what's called red flag. So we talked about redlining, but you can be red flagged and turned down. Now, when you go to a lender and you go to the bank, you come to and you sit in my fancy office, and I got my cushy job where it looks sexy. I go to the all the networking events, all the realtors, all the little sexy realtors and they little business outfits, and I tell a chick I work for the bank, and I have the hopes of getting a gold watch to retirement. I have this cushy job that pays me a base salary of $45,000 plus commission of anywhere from 3 to 5% of all the loans. And you're sitting down, and I really want to get you approved for this loan. I'm not going to tell you that the reason why you're denied for this loan is because you used your baby mama's address instead of a legitimate business address, because I'm not going to violate my job to help you get that loan, because it's not worth it. But when you are contracted with the bank, like I am now as a consultant, I can tell you all day long. That's why we have a 98% approval rating. That's why my course comes with 100% money back guarantee. You're guaranteed $20,000 in business credit. Guaranteed. In my executive coaching, the advanced coaching, you're guaranteed 100,000. You want to know why? Because we know the rules. It's just like, O'Shea, did you used to play PlayStation back in the day? I know you still play now, right?
No, I don't play now. I play YouTube now, but I don't
play YouTube. But back in the day, did you used to play video games?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like they had the cheat code, right? So one of my favorite games was, me and my brother used to play this game called Contra. And it used to be up, down, left, right, A, B, start. You know the cheat codes? When you know the codes, then you can get the unlimited lives. That's what I do. I reverse engineer business funding the legal way, so that people can stop saying, oh, it's because I'm a woman, or it's because I'm Black, or because I'm gay, or because I'm straight, or because I'm too tall. But no, if you have all the guidelines, you're going to get in the club if you have the right dress code on. You can't be suited and booted, but you have on some tennis shoes. I don't care if they $1,000 Gucci's. You have to have on some hard bottoms. You need to take off them $1,000 Gucci's and put on some $20 Steve Maddens, and you can get into the club. Does that make sense? If you guys are watching me right now, if that makes sense, I want you to say make sense. Cheat code, absolutely. Thanks so much, Doug, for giving out my YouTube channel. Is youtube.com/money making motivation. Yep. Who said that? That's Illmatic says select start for 2 players. LOL. You absolutely get it. All right. Thank you so much for participating. Majid says it makes sense. All right. Infamous New York City says it makes sense. All right. L says it makes sense all day long. Thank you for participating. Jack Charles says it makes sense. Okay. So basically that's basically how it works. So a lot of times we think that we're marginalized against on paper. Now I teach about what's called automatic underwriting. There's something that's called automatic underwriting, and then there's a manual underwriting. Okay. When you go through automatic underwriting, you never deal with another human being. When you go online and you apply for a $150,000 loan, or you apply for a $30,000 credit card, you're not interacting with another ethnos. You're interacting with the computer. So if you meet all the guidelines on the computer, and because of the post-randomization number, and because of the Fair Debt Collection Reporting Act, and because they went away with a lot of those laws, you never even deal with anybody of another ethnicity from you. You're dealing with a computer. So if you meet all the guidelines, boom, you're gonna get approved like that. But the problem is that we don't know. And so we're guessing at the dark. And we get these credit gurus that telling you stupid stuff like get a secured credit card. You better not get no secured credit card if you want to build credit. You better not, because then you're going to get denied. And then you have to go through a manual underwrite. And when you go through a manual underwrite, now they're going to look at you a little bit more. They're going to start to look and research your business profile. They're going to look at your social media profile. So sometimes you can be marginalized. They're going to look at your social, not your social security number, but your driver's license and look at the picture. So when you do go through a manual underwrite, the underwriter's job is to be more conservative. So unfortunately, that does have its place. You might come across a racist bigot. You might come across a Trump supporter, or you might come across a woman scorned. And then if you put yourself in that position to be manually underwritten, then you do have the risk of being rejected because of your ethnicity or your sexual proclivity.
Okay. Let me do this. I'm going to ask you a question, guys. We have 204 people here in the chat. Do me a favor. Let's all subscribe to the E. Dean Cole YouTube channel. Many guys are talking about they are subscribed to him. You can go into the description. I believe Doug is putting his link there. And
Thanks,
also we got a brother in here that's sharing some information with us. I always tell you black men to like the video. We deal in brothers who are great content creators, and we bring them over here, and we try to work with our brothers who have information that we do not have. So I'm big on liking the video. I have to tell y'all, get the likes up on the video, because it lets us know that you're appreciating what he's doing and what I'm doing, because we're both busy people and we're trying to help you guys out tonight. So like I said, go ahead and like the video here, and we're going to continue. So more likes. Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Some people now, when do I know that I do need to go for a business loan? Because some people, depending on the business, may not need to go for business credit. Let's say if I'm your client.
Okay.
Is there any cases where you tell me, I'll tell you my business idea, I'll tell you my experience, I'll tell you what I'm trying to do. Is there any case where you tell me, listen, based off what you're talking about, you need to fund your stuff by yourself. You don't even need the business loan credit right now, and these are the reasons why. Are there any times that you may tell a client that you don't need to get a business loan to start a business?
That's a very good question. Everybody needs to start their business before you can get funded. Starting your business is not the same thing as doing your business. So for all of you guys that want to know, this is my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/moneymaker motivation. Make sure you hit that notification bell. So once you hit that notification bell, you can be notified. So this is my channel right there, youtube.com/moneymaking motivation. But so nevertheless, yes, starting your business and doing your business are two separate things. Like for instance, I'm so grateful that I stepped out on faith and I said, you know what? All I need is to cover my expenses for 3 months to do it full time. There's a book that I'm in the process of working on. It's called Doing Your Work and Minding Your Business. It talks about juggling working 9 to 5 and starting your business on the side. So if that's your case for you. Now, my case, I was being squeezed out. I know you can't tell O'Shea, but I'm a big old nigga. You understand what I'm saying? I'm 6'4". I'm 260 pounds. And I'm young, flying, flashy at the same time. So I was squeezed out because I felt like when I walk into the room gets sucked in. So I was very uncomfortable working for somebody else because everybody kept asking me, why are you working here? My clientele asking me, why are you working here? And then my supervisor was a young Caucasian gentleman, and he stepped out on faith and he did what he had to do. And I said, I could do the exact same thing. He's 7 years younger than me. Okay. So I said all of that to say this: not everyone needs to do what I did. Okay. For my sanity and my peace of mind, I just did it full time. You can do it part time. Every last person needs to build business credit that's separate from their personal credit. Okay. Because like for instance, Donald Trump has filed bankruptcy more than 8 times. Donald Trump, the man, has never filed bankruptcy, but Donald Trump, the business, has filed bankruptcy. Donald Trump, the airlines, Donald Trump, the university, Donald Trump, the casinos have filed bankruptcy. When you build up your business that's separate from your personal credit, build a business credit that's separate from your personal credit, God forbid if it don't work out, boom, you could walk away scot-free and your personal credit is still intact.
Let me ask you this real quick. Sure. When you want to start, business credit, you have zero.
Zero. Yeah. Start from scratch.
Zero. Let's say I got a collard green sandwich incorporated. You know what I mean?
Collard green sandwich.
And yeah. With bacon bits 50 cents extra. Okay, I come to you. I got this dumbass name. And I say, hey, E Dean, man, I want to build business credit with this company. Where do you tell me to start? What do I need to do initially?
First thing you need to do is, instead of being collard green sandwich incorporated, I suggest that you become O'Shea Jackson Holdings Company. Go to the Secretary of State and get a LLC, which stands for Limited Liability Corporation, or get an INC. In most states, okay, when you're enrolled into my course, we hold your hand and walk you step by step through the process of becoming an LLC. So when you become an LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. So God forbid, if somebody were to choke on one of them collard green sandwiches, then you have limited liability. They can sue the business, but they can't sue you. So first thing I would suggest is you change the name, because that's a dumb name. But O'Shea Jackson Holdings, O'Shea Jackson Holdings can actually have a business that sells a product, which is collard green sandwiches. But O'Shea Jackson, in order to get good business, you need to have an ambiguous name that you cannot be marginalized against. Like, God forbid, just like if you go to get a job and on your resume you put down bigbootiesrus@gmail.com, 9 times out of 10 you ain't gonna get called back. But if you put down Lisa.Simpson@gmail, you have a better chance of getting called back. You dig what I'm saying? Or if you put down King Dingaling as your Gmail, 9 times out of 10 you ain't gonna get called back. But if you put down O'Shea.Jackson or whomever, you see what I'm saying? So what happens is that you have to take the ethnicity out of the name when you're trying to go through automatic underwriting, so that you cannot be marginalized again. So first thing I tell somebody is, you want to have a universal name, kind of like O'Shea Jackson Holdings. That's first thing. Or O'Shea Jackson Incorporated. That's first thing. Okay. And then what you have to do is get a LLC. There's so many people right now that's trapping out the bandos, that's hustling. They're trying to sell CDs out of their trunk, or they're trying to they want to drop ship. They say, oh, okay, there's a drop shipping company. Let me go and just start selling products. But they're not a legitimate business. They're hustlers. There's nothing wrong with hustling, but there is something wrong with being a hustler. You can be an entrepreneur that hustles, but you cannot be a hustler and get funding. What I mean by that is, first thing is you have to be a legitimate business. In most states, it costs $150. The same price that you spent to take old girl out trying to impress her. She went around and slept with somebody else, but you just spent that $150 on a date.
Wait, brother Carl, I gotta say it again. Say it again.
Same $150 you spent on this chick. You trying to
catch the ghost.
And she went and she slept with somebody else. You did, because she put you on the 90-day rule, but this nigga digging her out every 45 minutes.
Oh.
You spent that $150 on her, you could have started your business. Or you wanted to get the new Jordans and it cost $200, you could have started your business. You wanted to get the new fresh polo shirt. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I love these things. They about $115 a piece. 2 of these, boom. You could have started your business. So you have the money to set aside, but it's not a priority to you. You dig what I'm saying? You know somebody right now that's wasting money.
But you just said a really big thing. I know you was on your close up thought, but this is important. This is important.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because we talk about black men, and we know that a lot of black men tend to be a little, again, they spend money on stupid ass shit they don't need to spend money on. And you just
are considered super consumers.
Let's talk about that. Why do you think that our brothers, man, they are always, they have the money, but they always, I don't have the money, but then they have the money for other things, but they don't have the money for stuff that can help them. Why do you think that is?
Because in my estimation, 70% of the African-American diaspora is depressed. So what we do is we do things that feel good to our flesh, that gives us immediate gratification. We want to give us something. We'll invest into feeling good. We'll spend money on something that's going to make us feel good instead of something that's going to make us good. I want you to make me feel good, not make me good. But when you change your way of thinking and say, okay, I'm setting myself up for the future, this is going to make me good. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're going to stop going to the club and you're going to stop buying bottles of Ace of Spades. Now, there's nothing wrong with Ace of Spades, champagne. There's nothing wrong with it at all. There's nothing at all wrong with it. But if you're going to spend $1,000 on a bottle, you still have to make sure that you position yourself the right way. But we'll go to the club because it's the second paycheck of the month. and we'll turn up on a bottle of Ace of Spades. You know what I'm saying? We'll get some cigars. There's nothing wrong with it when you can do it and it not affect your everyday life.
Oh, say it again. Say it again. Just say it again.
There's nothing wrong with, I'm sorry, I was sneezing. There's nothing wrong with doing that if it's not going to affect your everyday life, when you can do it in excess. So what happens is that a lot of us, a lot of Black men specifically, we will beg for stuff that we need, but buy stuff that we want. So we want to feel good. We want to feel like, oh man, I've been working so hard. We want to, turn up at the club. We want to be the center of attention. We want to look fresh. You know what I'm saying? We want to feel good, but it is fleeting. It's temporary. But if you change your way of thinking and say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna be able to walk off this job in 6 months. I'm gonna be able to. I ain't gotta sleep on old girl couch no more. I can do it myself in 3 months. Or we can say, my baby mama ain't gonna tell me when and where I can go in her car because I'm gonna get my own car. When you change your way of thinking and you start and you really love yourself for real, you're gonna do things that make sure that you love yourself. So I think that's one of the main reasons why we are super consumers. The definition of a super consumer is somebody that uses more than 70% of their income for entertainment and luxuries, because our income isn't as equivalent to other ethnos. So we'll use 70% of that on things that make us feel good instead of using 70% of the things that make us actually good. That's why the Latino community is starting to surpass the African-American man when it comes to buying power, because they will pool themselves together so that their income and their resources are very minuscule, and they're starting to get they've been getting income producing opportunities that pay just as much or as much as the African-American man. But because we are super consumers, not all of us as a whole, majority of us are super consumers. We'll spend 70% on something that doesn't actually make us good, but make us feel good. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It makes sense. Let me do this, guys. We have 220 people watching. We're trying to get our brother is doing really good on YouTube, but again, we need more people.
I want all you guys to hit the listen. If you got this, is what I told O'Shea.
Go ahead, brother.
If you guys, I have a free course. And remember, I told you about how to get a secured credit card was the worst thing you can do to fix your credit. I give out free credit repair, okay, for paid clients. But for anybody that comes from this stream, you have to do 3 things. 1, you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, do a screenshot of that. Number 2, go to my Instagram, follow me on IG, send me a private message and tell me that you came from O'Shea's channel. Show me the screenshot of you subscribing and show me the screenshot that you followed me. Then I'm gonna send you a resource that's gonna give you $15,000 of personal credit that's guaranteed to boost your personal score 100 points. Okay, as long as you're not currently in a bankruptcy, and as long as you don't currently have federal child support debt. Those are the only 2 things that'll stop you. You can have child support debt, that's fine. But as long as it's not showing up as a judgment on your credit report, anything other than that, you're guaranteed $15,000 in legitimate lines of credit. These are not trade lines, and they're going to boost your credit score 100 points.
Let me ask you this. Let's say somebody gets $20,000 in business credit.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be negative, but when they get it, then how do they, like, especially some of our brothers are just coming in, out of poverty into the middle class and just kind of coming into entrepreneurship. So you get the approval for the credit. Then how do you use this money in the right way? Because, you know how our people can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about that. And then also I want you to kind of finish let's go over this question and we're going to talk about the other things. Maybe.
And if you guys have questions too, anybody that does a super chat and ask your question and support O'Shea, it doesn't matter what the dollar amount is, just super chat. If you have a question, make sure that you do a super chat and ask your question, and I'll answer your question no matter what it is. Just super chat to support my man O'Shea. And this is my IG. My Instagram is Instagram @E.Dean Cole. Come to my Instagram in the inbox, and that way I'll go ahead and give you that resource. But to answer your question, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If they're coming through my course, they have no choice because they're changing their mind. The #1 best-selling book that taught me to be the best business coach, it says that there's no change. It says there's no change with the outer man unless the inner man is renewed. So you have to change your inner thinking. And my course is designed to walk you step by step to change your inner thinking. I coach my clients up. I try my hardest to get that foolishness out of them and change their way of thinking so that they can change their life, because it's not going to happen. Now, granted, you're gonna want to ball out. You want to ball on a budget. You're gonna want to burn one, as they say. That has its place. You want to celebrate your victories, but you have to do it in moderation, because the money doesn't necessarily make you. It's your mindset that makes you. Because if you have a poor mindset and you have $1 million, your business is still going to fail. If you have a rich mindset with $100, your business will flourish. It does not matter the money. It matters your mindset. So, I mean, it happens. I got clients all the time. I got clients that say, man, Dean, I fell off, or man, I made a mistake. Listen, there is nothing wrong with starting over again. There is absolutely nothing wrong with picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and keep moving. I feel like we make it so hard on the Black man that we can't fail, but failure is a part of succeeding. If it wasn't for all the times that I failed in business, this current business would not be successful. I heard it said, and I believe it's true. They say that that Bill Gates won't invest in you unless you had a business that failed already, because you have to want it past that knee-jerk reaction. A lot of times people say, oh, I want to be a real estate investor because it looked good. I want to ride around in a $120,000 BMW. But then when they fail at it, then they don't want to do it anymore. But when you fail at it and you say, okay, what did I do wrong? How can I fix this? How can I move forward? That is when you're going to really find your promised land. The same book that I was talking about, it says that where a man's heart is, that's where his treasure will be also. A lot of pastors and a lot of preachers use that to prey on the individual to say, you got to give your money if your heart is there. No, I reverse engineer that. If you follow your heart, that's where you're going to find your wealthy place. I could do this for free. Now, I charge $250 an hour, but I could do it for free all day long. That's why on my YouTube channel, I have hours and hours and hours, because I just love to teach and pour into people. And because I'm doing it out of the sincerity of my heart, it attracts to me sincere people that need the help. And so that's why my business has been successful. We average about, I was telling you earlier, we average about 1,000 new subscribers every 45 days.
Let me do this. Let me shout out to Wake the Hell Up. He giving gems right now on the notes, on the mindset. Let's talk about some of the other things that you had mentioned in our previous inbox. And
Okay.
Let me see here. Business credit, business loans. Okay. Business loans. Okay, I know that when we have we want to buy a house. Thank you, brother Malik Vanderpool. Great info again. Thank you for coming. So, let's talk about before qualifying for the loan and everything like that. How long do I need to have the business established? But before I actually go to the bank, as far as the LLC, what's the timeline for me to do that? Do I actually have to have the business actually running? What's the length and all these things? For a person that's looking to get a business loan and they have a business plan, because obviously people don't think about that. The business plan, you have that, what you're trying to do, you have some information into the business. Okay, how long do I need to have this before I actually go ask somebody to give me more money?
That's a very good question. The last place you need to go is to a bank. Notice there's a difference between business credit and business loans. So in our inbox, I said we could talk about business credit and business loans, because how many of you guys have ever heard of an SBA? If you've ever heard of SBA, I want you to say have heard. 2 words, have heard. If you have never heard of an SBA, I want you to say never have. Most individuals, when they think of a small business or a small business loan, they think about going to the SBA to get an SBA loan. Okay, let's go ahead and do a temperature check and let's see how we're doing. Thanks so much for that. All right. So the first person to participate was Roscoe. Roscoe says have heard. Misty Knight says have heard. All right. That's correct, Roscoe. Small Business Administration or Small Business Association. All right. Never have. Majid says never have. All right. Fitness Guru says never have. All right. Lance Brown says have heard. Thank you for participating. All right. Tony Lagoon says have heard. All right, G. Adams says, have heard. Yes. So SBA stands for the Small Business Administration, not association, but administration. SBA, Small Business Administration. An SBA loan is a loan that's backed by the government. And that's the thing that most people think about, because SBA loans have the lowest interest rates, and they give you, it's a universal loan. You can use it to buy, God forbid, 10 ounces of cocaine, or you use it to buy 10 ounces of cotton candy. It doesn't matter what you want to buy with an SBA loan, it's a universal loan. So notice there's a difference between business credit and business loans. In my course, you're guaranteed $20,000 in business credit. And then in my executive coaching, I'm guaranteed $100,000 in business credit and business loans. There's a difference. Let me explain. A business credit is the ability to go to Walmart and use a Walmart credit card to buy any and everything at Walmart for your business. A universal business credit card is a Visa-backed credit card that you can go and buy any and everything you want to buy, but you can buy it anywhere. Does that make sense, O'Shea? You follow me? O'Shea, you with me? Did I lose the connection? O'Shea, you with me?
Yeah. I just went and closed the door. Okay. So let me ask you this: which one do you prefer? Because
so this is the thing. I'm teaching. I want to lay the foundation.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to actually teach. Like, what I do is I teach truth to power. I don't just talk about it. I tell you how to do it.
Okay.
So that being said, is you can build business credit in 30 days. So 30 days from you getting an LLC that costs $150, for you getting your EIN, which is free, for you getting a business phone number, which is free for 30 days. And after that, it's $9 a month. For you getting a virtual business address, which is like $50. So 30 days of you establishing your business, you can get business credit. And what you do is you leverage that business credit and you build up something that's called a paydex score. In order for you to get these business loans, there are different steps. The best idiom that I use is not the idiom, but the best analogy that I use is baking a cake. Everybody says that it's easy like a piece of cake. Like, O'Shea, have you heard of that analogy? Oh, it's easy. It's a piece of cake.
Yes.
But if you think about the complexity of baking a cake, you have to preheat the oven. You have to make sure that you have all of your dry ingredients separate from all of your wet ingredients. Then after that, then you have to grease the pan. Then after you grease the pan, then you have to put it in the oven. And after you put it in the oven, you got to leave it alone so that your cake does not fall. After you do that, to make sure your cake does not fall, then you have to pull it out of the oven and let it cool. And then after you let it cool, then you take it out of the cake pan. After you take it out of the cake pan, then you have to put it on a plate and frost it. After you put it on a plate and frost it, then you cut the cake. So even though we say it's easy like a piece of cake, it's really like 9 or 10 different steps. That's what it's like when it comes to getting business funding that's separate from your personal credit. Everybody think, oh, I got a 680 credit score, I can go and get a loan. That's true, but that's not true business credit. But if you're building true business credit where you can get these $100,000 loans that's separate from your personal credit, you have to follow those steps. That being said, you ask the question, when can you go to get a small business loan? You don't go get a small business loan because of length of business. You go get a small business loan because of the of your likelihood of paying back or how much your business is established. I have been able to get people $400,000 in 7 months, not because in the 7 months from starting their business, it's because they went through the steps and there are different levels to building their business credit. They established what's called tier 1 credit, which are vendor credit, business accounts. Then they went to tier 2 credit, which are store credit cards like Macy's, JCPenney's, Dillard's, Walmart, Target, Amazon. And then they utilize that to help their business grow. You can literally get up to $250,000 in business credit and loans and credit cards that's separate from your personal credit before you even step foot into your new business. You can be working for somebody else and you can build up $250,000 before you even leave your job. You don't have to physically be doing that business if you build it up the right way. So there are different levels and different tiers. And that's what I teach, how to go through that levels and how to go through those tiers. I teach the recipe so that it makes it easier for you. Like there's something like I talked about automatic underwriting. There is a search engine that lenders and banks use that will magnetize you. I have a video of a client who got $400,000 and granted he had been in business for 12 months and he got approved. Like they keep sending him working capital loans all the time. Like a working capital loan is a loan that you can use for working capital, but working capital can be used for anything. So I know it's a lot of complexities of it, but that's what I do. I teach you how to leverage your relationships. I teach you how to start off with the vendor credit, then go to the store credit, and then go to the universal credit cards, and then go and get loans from credit unions and lending institutions. The last place you need to go to is a traditional bank. You need to go to a credit. You need to go to a capital fund before you go to a credit union, and then you need to go to a credit union before you go to a bank. You can get capital from a capital fund from a firm. There's a lot of different firms that give out working capital. You can do that 4 months into your business, if that makes sense.
Now, this is called a capital
Working
firm?
capital. No, they're different private lenders and alternative finance. They're different capital firms.
Okay.
Working capital firms that specialize in short-term working capital, like hedge funds, like different RITs, real estate investment trusts that give out funding that specialize in that. You can do that 4 months into a business and you can be working for somebody else, but and build up that working capital.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that. Let me also ask you, again, if a person has bad credit and they want to establish business credit, is that scenario possible?
Absolutely possible. You can be in a current bankruptcy. I have a video that I just posted last week of a client who was in a bankruptcy, and he's already accumulated over $100,000 in business credit that's 100% separate from his personal credit. You can have a 325 credit score, and the FBI be looking for you because your credit's so bad, and still build up business credit when you do it the right way. Now, granted, if you have good personal credit, it makes it faster. To be 100% transparent, it's going to take you anywhere from 6 to 12 months to be able to build up good business credit when you have bad credit. But if you have good credit, it'll take you 90 days. So either 3 months if you have good credit, or 6 to 12 months if you have bad credit. So that's why I give out free credit repair, and I teach my clients to repair their personal credit. Because remember, as a consulting firm, we get paid commissions from the banks. I get paid when you close on a loan. So that's the reason why I give out free credit repair. I don't care if you pay the little $350, $500 for credit repair. That's why I don't like credit repair companies, because a lot of it is fake foolishness, and they don't know nothing about underwriting guidelines. Somebody done read a book and they think they know something, but we get paid from the lenders, not from you guys. Now, as a consultant, I charge monthly fees to be in my online course. And then I also charge for one-on-one consultations. But as far as like application fees and all the other stuff, you don't have to pay that, because we get paid. It's called yield spread, or it's called commission for funding. So we get that from the bank, because the bank makes money when you get loans. Banks want to give you funding. They want to give you loans. But a lot of times people just aren't set up the right way, so they can't do it. They want to get that interest. It's called amortization.
Okay. Let me read off this first generation African. Thank you for your donation. My aunt is a nurse practitioner, and she wants to start her own practices.
Yes.
What is the best way for her to get financing, or what course should I get, Dean?
That's a very good question. Go through the startup coaching, because that's the only one that you're available to go through. You can't go through the executive coaching because that's such advanced. That's not ready for open enrollment. So when you go through the startup coaching, she can be working at the hospital right now. And your aunt, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, month number one, well, let's say we're in the month of, what month are we in? September, right? September, she enrolls into the course. She's working for the doctor's office or the institution she's working for now. Month number one, she starts Auntie's Medical Service. She starts that in October. In November, Auntie Medical Services gets $20,000 in business credit. So now she's still working for the other company, but now she has $20,000 in business credit. So now Auntie's Medical Services, okay, I have the confidence. I can start doing what I want to do. Now Auntie's Medical Service, let's say she wants to work from home, but she wants to, be a nurse practitioner where she go and get clients. So now month number 3 or month number 4, she goes to a credit union, and she goes to the credit union, and the credit union gives her $75,000. So now Aunt T is working at the doctor's office or wherever she's working. Now she has some business credit and some working capital. And now if Aunt T wants to start doing Aunt T's medical service, the only thing that's stopping her from being successful is her. That's one of my favorite things I say. The only thing that's stopping you from being successful is you. Whether you are a truck driver, whether you are a barber, whether you are an online content creator, you can create business. They don't care what you use the money for. They just care that you pay it back. As long as you pay it back, they're going to give you money. You can physically build up a barbershop and never cut one strand of hair and build up business credit while you're working for somebody else. That's the wise way to do it. The #1 best-selling book of all time says that that it is best to count the cost, so that when you go to build, you won't be ridiculed because you don't have the ability, you don't have enough material to build. So I reverse engineer it. Sit down, structure yourself before you leap out there. Make sure that you don't use foolishness. Use faith. Believe that you can be successful, but make sure that you count the cost. Do everything that you need to do to be successful and have a cushion so that you can be successful. The reason why most businesses fail is because they're underfunded and people try to use their own personal credit. You need to have leverage. And that's the difference between a hustler. A hustler be like, okay, I got an idea. Let me step out there. Let me just grind. No. You want to be a professional that hustles. Get a business email address. Get a business phone number. You can still be working for whoever you want to work for. As long as there's not a non-compete agreement, as long as you're not physically doing the acts of that business, you're not in any violation. You can build up a holding company that can, if you want to sell cars, you can work at a car dealership. Build up enough business credit to the point to where now you can go and get $200,000 worth of cars the day you leave your dealership, the day you leave that job. You're able to do that if you build up your business the right way. So if you come to my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/moneymaking motivation. I have hours and hours and hours of videos where I teach how you're able to do it. And it's not, and this is the thing that irritates the black off my back about the conscious community, O'Shea. Everybody's talking about, oh, the black man keeping us down. I mean, the white man keeping us down. Oh, well, like, what's that girl name that irritates me so much? Her name is, what's the light-skinned chick that irritates me so much? Yes. What's up, Yvette? Oh, there's no equality. Oh, no, all this. And everybody's talking about the problem, woe is me. But there aren't any actionable steps that you can take. Instead of selling coconut oil out of the trunk of your car or going to the different conscious events, selling different jihads, create a legitimate business so that you can actually get inventory, so that you can make sure that your rent and your bills are paid, so that you can go after your vision. Instead of talking about woe is me, stop talking about woe is me. Take that same energy and effort as complaining about why we can't get ahead and start planning so that you can get ahead. The only person that's stopping you from being successful is you. If you don't know it, you can learn it. If you don't have the character, you can develop it. But so many of us love being the victim. So many of us love saying, oh, woe is me, because we like the way it feels to be the victim, instead of making sure that we're victorious. You can do it. And I'm not telling you something that I heard. I'm telling you something that I know. Like O'Shea and I was talking about this. Like right now, I'm in $1 million house on the water and by myself. Not because I done schemed on some chick. It's because I built this for myself. You understand what I'm saying? Not because I needed a co-signer, not because I needed a white man to tell me. No, I'm unapologetic, 10 toes down. I am very much so pro-black. I have a lot of Caucasians that are my clients. If they feel uncomfortable about it, then they just have to feel uncomfortable. I don't care. I'm going to teach. I am called to the African-American diaspora. Every other ethnicity is able to learn from me, but my specific anointing is activated to the African-American. But it does not, and so other ethnicities, other cultures, other Jewish cultures, Indian cultures, anybody that has the last name of Patel, the very first thing that they do is build up other Patels. If you go like O'Shea, you're in Poland, like you were in Kenya, there's a lot of different tribes because you travel internationally, you've been able to see it, that they try to build themselves up, but because the African-American is a scattered, we are considered an ethnos, even though we're Africans that are in America, but because we're scattered and we don't have a sense of ourselves, it's more difficult for us to be for ourselves. There's nothing wrong with being pro-black. And when I was saying that I'm going to create this book called Black Owned, people was like, why would you do that? Like, we need the white man money. We need all money that's spent. No, there's enough money in my community, and I can feel good about what I do, and I can declare definitively that I believe in the advancement of my people, and I'm not trying to fleece them. I'm not selling them some snake oil. I am telling them specifically what they can do. That's one of the reasons why I like Dr. Umar Johnson so much. Like, people hate on Dr. Umar Johnson, but he is talented and he's time tested, meaning that he has the doctor's degrees. He has his special niche that he specializes in. A lot of these other African American pro-Black speakers and teachers, like Boyce Watkins. Like, I was actually set to do a event with Dr. Boyce Watkins. Dr. Boyce Watkins, he talks about a lot of conjecture and he talks about a lot of theory, but he's not time tested. So he doesn't know how to get loans. He doesn't know how to help people. He is a salesman, for lack of better terms. That's the reason why I feel like we need more people that know specificity and practicality on how they're able to do it. There's so many of us that we whine and we complain. We have to go from whining and complaining, and we have to go into actually working, and we have to go into creating. But that's that. You done got me on my soapbox, man. Done got me on my soapbox, man.
You're doing your thing, man. I didn't want to stop you, brother.
Yeah, done got me on my soapbox. So what questions do you guys have, or what other questions do you have for me, O'Shea? I can go as long as you're ready to go, bro.
Well, I know that. Well, let me do this. Because in about 20 minutes, I got to be over at Phil's channel.
Live on another live stream, yeah.
But there's some brothers that are, and thank you for the brothers that are. Let me tell you this, man. It's good to be able to. We have talented brothers. Y'all see me. I'm just enjoying it like y'all am. I'm just sitting here absorbing it. You know what I mean? Because I love to see talented brothers and do their thing. And you see, got the cigarette and the cigar thing, and you got the little magic. Subscribe right here. That's looking all clean and shit. So I'm sitting here, watching him do his thing. I'm just letting him move like he want to move. You know what I mean? And as black men, we need to do a lot more of that. Let our brothers move and how they move. And hating on him because the brother is smooth, man. He's doing this motherfucking thing, man. And I like to see shit like this. I'm sitting here like, God damn, how did he do that? So, you know what I mean? So the brother is moving, man. And I like to see a brother, man, that just really talk that shit. And, he got confidence and he just really moving like that. And I'm just as mesmerized as you motherfuckers are. I'm like, God damn, how did he make that shit come through like there, man? Hold on. Let me, brother, let me ask these questions that the brothers is wanting to know.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, I'll unblock you here, brother. But if you fuck around again on my channel, nigga, I'm gonna kick your ass up out of here again.
Kyle, stop trolling. Stop trolling.
I'm just letting you know.
Stop trolling.
I'm trying to keep it clean.
Something to be blocked. You need to stop trolling.
Yeah. So I'm just letting you niggas know because y'all know how I can get. Because if I have to hit the live button by myself, cussing you niggas out, that's what I do for a living. So I'm just letting you know. Let me do this. Jack Charles, True Supreme Knowledge. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother Charles, man. Now the brother, I missed a super chat. Yes, sir. Yo, fam. Okay, let me do this. I had a brother that had a question for you, brother Cole. And I missed it because I had went to the restroom. I think we had a brother that was donating something, so he had a question for you. And guys, continue to subscribe to our brother E. Dean Cole. He's come over. He did a wonderful job. Okay, tonight, and he just really has given out some great information. But so let's subscribe to him. Go into the description if you're on the restream. Go into the description, subscribe to the brother, hit the bell. Let me ask this question. We have a few questions. Tiers for business credit and real estate investing with business credit. I know you offer some of those things, but is there tiers for real estate investing with business credit also, or is it different from what you told us before? Is it a different concept? That's a very good question.
So once again, everybody can make sure that they go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/moneymaker motivation. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out the next time I go live. And I do these live Q&As all the time. So make sure that you go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So yes, real estate is on tier 3. All right. If you go to tier 3, like I said, there are different tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. You can build up. There's a resource that we have. There's a lender that specializes in real estate. They will give you $500,000 for real estate specifically. Hear me. That means that you can't be a car dealer trying to go to this resource to get $500,000 to buy cars. You can't be a weave distributor and you want to buy weave directly from India or China. You can't go to this specific resource and get $500,000 for weave. You have to go to this. So that being said, the reason why they're at tier 3 and not at tier 5 is because they specialize specifically in real estate. Now, you're going to need to have what we call skin in the game. Skin in the game is 20% down. But the cool thing about it, notice tier 3 is where you can get $500,000. But tier 3 is also where you can get working capital. So the best true way to get 100% financing is don't go out and try to do, like I talk about how like this property, I have a vlog on YouTube where like this house that I have is $1 million property. It is in my business name, not my personal name. Cause I gotta, like I said, my ex-wife, she crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't own this house. My business owns this house. I think that every single man that has a baby mama, that has children, that deals with that crazy situation needs to own a business. You need to protect yourself. Fathers have rights too. So my business bought this property, fixed it up, and now my business has this $1 million piece of real estate, this $1 million asset in my business name. So that being said, you can get the working capital. Now the only reason why I did this at such a large level, because the property was 350, I fixed it up, but I suggest you start off with like 100,000, 150, something small. 20% of that is only $20,000. So you take the $20,000 working capital and then you take that and reinvest it, and then boom, 100% financing. I have a lender that just came on board with us. If you have a 680, they'll give you $150,000. If you make $40,000 a year, you have a 680 credit score, you get $150,000 for working capital to do whatever you want to do with. Okay. So my suggestion as a consultant, this is why I get paid the big bucks. I will have you write out a step-by-step business plan so that you're not burned, and you take that working capital, use it as a down payment to leverage it. So you use credit to pay for credit in your business name so that you don't make a mistake. That's how Donald Trump is able to build subdivisions. That's why Donald Trump doesn't want to share his taxes, because he don't pay taxes. When you are an entrepreneur, like same stuff Trump does, I do, God forbid. That's why my baby mama's so mad at me. She's so pissed off because, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like this car, this BMW is in my business name. Hi, Judge, how you riding around in the $80,000 BMW? And he said he can only pay this. This is a business expense. Judge, how come he living in this house? Judge, how come he traveling here? How come he traveling there? She gets super mad and jealous that I treat my daughter like the queen that she is, because they're all business expenses, because I set myself up the right way so that I am not penalized for being a successful entrepreneur. You have to do it that way. So I said all of that to say, yes, there are different tiers, but you cannot tap into getting tiers for real estate investment until you're at tier 3. You can get to tier 3 in 4 months. If you do it, if you're really serious about it, if you're adamant about it, if you really get out of your own way and you really apply it, you can easily do it. I have a course that is called The Power of Other People's Money, which is a free course that we give out for clients that are enrolled into my course. Because of the things that I teach, and because I am a loan originator. I'm not some woke person that's talking and it doesn't matter what I say. I'm not like Sinetta, or no against the Sinetta. I'm not like Brother Polite, no disrespect to Brother Polite. I'm not like young Pharaoh, where I can just talk conjecture and just pontificate and there's no consequences or repercussions. I am a legitimate consultant. So I have what's called E&O insurance, errors and omissions insurance. I am liable for the things that I say and the things that I teach, which is why I'm so dogmatic about making sure I talk in completion and I speak in specificity. Because if I mess up, I have $1 million insurance policy. If somebody sues me for malpractice or giving out wrong information, I am liable. So because of that, a lot of stuff I can't teach publicly. A lot of people say, oh man, give it to me for free. No, nigga, no, I got to protect myself. Like, you're watching YouTube because it's entertaining to you, but this is my legitimate business. I don't do YouTube for money. I do YouTube because it's fun and I give back and it grows my real legitimate business, which is as a consultant. So that's why in my private settings, I teach a lot of things that are like, I teach how you can get rid of bankruptcies. I can teach how you can get rid of student loans, but I teach that in private settings to protect myself and my brand. You dig what I'm saying? Because I have a legitimate NMLS ID with my fingerprint associated with the FBI, not because there's anything wrong with it. That's what it takes in order for you to lend. You see what I'm saying? So that being said, there's certain things that I can't teach publicly, but I do teach privately. And I teach how you're able to do those things in private settings in my course. But that was a very long, drawn out explanation to, yes, you're able to do real estate and there are different tiers for real estate, if that makes sense.
Okay. Let me do this. Guys, 250 people watching.
How many thumbs up we got? People watching. Hold on for a second. Wait. We gotta look at this. We only have 153 thumbs up. Do we really have 100 people that's hating? I am teaching truth to power. I need all of you guys to hit the thumbs up button right now, or I'm not going to teach anything else. So I need for all of you guys to hit the thumbs up button. You have to make sure that there's some type of alchemic responsibility with this. What I mean by that is in alchemy, when you are a creator, there has to be equal exchange. Fair exchange ain't robbery. So if you want to get more information, you have to hit the like button. It costs you absolutely $0, but you have to participate. Make sure that you hit the like button and share O'Shea's video. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Instagram. How can you share it on Instagram? At O'Shea Jackson. Do a screenshot, a screen record of this video at O'Shea on IG. Or share it in your private Facebook group. I know y'all in them sweatpants groups and the beard groups. I know y'all in all of those different private hotep groups. And share it. Share the link. Same way you share all those other foolish things, share that in those groups as well. And that way you have to there has to be some type of corresponding action in order for you to really take on this. And if you believe in the law of attraction and in the universe, you have to believe in the alchemic principles. And in the alchemic principle, there's equal exchange. Even swap ain't swindle. You have to do something in order for you to magnetize yourself so the universe will bring you success. I know that's deep on a lot of people's level, but hey, I'm gonna get to you all the way straight. You have to do something. It has to be some type of corresponding exchange. 153 thumbs up and 250 people watching, that's not good enough. Everybody hit the thumbs up button right now. I'm not gonna teach another thing until we get the thumbs up to match the likes. If you value this, do something about it.
All right, so you got them up to 184. All
right, a little bit more. We got 184. How many people we got watching live? Let's see. We have 241 people live and 187. I'm not going to teach another thing until we get the 200 thumbs up. If y'all just want to sit up here and listen to O'Shea and I talk, we can talk about something else, but we're not answering. No more questions until you participate. No leeches. You have to do a corresponding action, or the stuff that I'm teaching will not work for you. The universe will not bring you success. That's just how it works. Absolutely. Facts. You have to participate. All right, we got 194. All right, we need 5 more likes. I'm not going to start teaching because I believe we got some haters in the building. I'll go with 50 haters, but I won't go with no 100 haters. The devil is a lie. We got that many people hating on us. Come on now. We ain't playing them games. All right, we got 196 people. I'm so serious.
Oh, we got 199.
199. This is what we do on my channel. For all of you guys that are my clients, you guys already know. You have to make a mind-muscle connection with this. You have to have some corresponding action. The #1 best-selling book that teaches on business development says that you have to write the vision and make it plain so they that read it can run. That means that, okay, you're not writing things down. Like I will tell you, that's why I say certain words, because it makes a mind-muscle connection and it's going to allow you to recall this information. All you got to do is hit the like button. We don't have any leeches around here. Nope. Where are we at? There we go, 200. There we go. All right, O'Shea, what's the next question, my man?
All right, so let me do that. Guys, thank you for your support. Thank you, Brother E. Dean, for getting them in line. I would just, you gave a better explanation than I would. It'd have been some cuss words coming out my mouth. Look, nigga, hit the motherfucking like button. But,
absolutely.
Much more eloquent way that I used to do it. That's why C3 said, he's a commander just like you. Yeah, he's a lot nicer. I would have told you to go fuck yourself. But let me do this, brother. We have some more questions on the super chat, and guys, this is a show. I know it's going to be good, but it's way better than I thought it was going to be. This is probably one of the best shows I did this year with this brother. This brother is off the chain.
I appreciate it.
So Young J 216 writes, we have 2 questions. Am I eligible for that 100 credit score boost? And DJ Cadillac wants to know, what does he think about the Tulsa Fund or LLCs? Shout out to It's Twizzy. Shout out to Brother Wayman Brown for the super chat. I guess we'll take the first question. And Jack Charles, thank you for your support. Am I eligible for that 100 group credit score boost? I think he was just joking around.
Yeah, because he's a client of mine. So guys, make sure you follow me on Instagram. It's IG at e.deanco, Instagram.com. E.deanco. Do the screenshot. Remember, you have to do two things. You have to do three things. One, you have to make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and do a screenshot showing that you're subscribed. Then the second thing you have to do is you have to make sure you come to my Instagram. Once you come to my Instagram, show that you are a follower, screenshot that, send me a message, and then I will send you the information for the 100-point credit boost. But Jay, to answer your question, you already have it because you're already enrolled into my course. That's like how he did the LOL because he's a client of mine. So you already have access to it. You have the full course. You have the 720 FICO coaching. In the 720 FICO coaching, at the latter part is the 100-point credit boost. So you have access to the full course, Jay, to answer that question. The second question is the gentleman asked a question about the Tulsa Fund. What do I think about it? Jay Morrison is the creator of the Tulsa Fund. I think the Tulsa Fund or the Tulsa LLC is a great concept. I want you to use caution with that. Jay is a contemporary of mine. I look at like some of the same people that reach out to me also reach out to Jay. We are part of the same channel cluster for all the YouTubers that know about that. I look at Jay as a constituent and a contemporary. I think is great for the culture. I think Jay is a great activist. Me personally, I don't trust the Tulsa Fund yet because I need to see what it produces. I think that Marcus Garvey was a phenomenal pillar to the African-American diaspora and the advancement of the African-American community. However, Marcus Garvey was horrible when it came to business. And his steamships, he paid too much for his steamships. One, because he had COINTELPRO, which he had Caucasian and African-American individual plotting against him in his inner circle. But two, because he was so arrogant enough to where he was making foolish decisions. So it was a perfect storm, is what brought down Marcus Garvey, for all the people who are Garveyites and understand that. That being said, the reason why I like Dr. Umar Johnson is because he's time-tested and talented. Jay Morrison, he's talented. He's time-tested because he's been on television and he's done real estate. At the same time, I'm not 100. I can't give him I need to see a earnings sheet. Projections are good. The idea is good, but at the same time, right after he got how many $1 million? He instantly started doing videos with limos in the back. That's an instant red flag for me. I'm just saying, like, his wife is gorgeous wife. She magically dropped 35 pounds for their wedding. Beautiful wedding. I'm not saying that he is misappropriating funds. I'm not saying that. At the same time, for me as a banking professional, I need to see a projection sheet to see what they've done. If I were to consult and give someone advice on a hedge fund, or give someone advice on a spider stock, or give somebody advice on a mutual fund, you always look at their prospectus and you always look at their track record, because the track record of what they have earned will give you an idea of what you can earn. Because now, if you just want to believe in the movement and you can invest $1,000, but you're not dependent on this money and you just want to see it grow and you believe that it can be successful, do that. But when it comes to you messing up your whole 401k, or you cashing out on a lot on things on a growth stock mutual fund, and or you have a life insurance policy that has cash value, or you have an IUL, which stands for Index Universal Life Insurance Policy, and you're cashing that out in order for you to go and invest into that, I don't feel comfortable enough to say yes or no. I think the idea is phenomenal. I want to see what it does next year. I want to see how it performs. This is just me. And there's nothing against Jay. I love Jay 10 toes down. I've paid to go see Jay and not even going to see him just because I love what he does. But as a business consultant who is held at my words, I wouldn't say to invest yet until I see what he does with it. Because like O'Shea just said, and I'm not saying that Jay is this, but now Jay is the manager of a multi-million-dollar firm. Now, in that multi-million-dollar firm, you are allowed to pay yourself a salary. So if he wants to ride around with Escalade limos and all that other stuff with his gorgeous wife, with this beautiful 14-karat rock on her hand, that's phenomenal. If he does that with his salary, that's great. But to say that it's not coming from the fund, I can't say that yet. I need to see a prospectus. I need to see an income sheet, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? If that makes sense to everybody, I want you to say it makes sense. I'm not hating on Jay at all. Jay has done some things when it comes to real estate. I don't know what he's done. I've seen him on television. I have seen him become a real estate agent. I don't personally know anything that he has legitimately flipped. I don't know anything that he's legitimately done. I know he's a great orator. I know he's sharp. I look at him and I sharpen myself by his ability and make myself sharper. So I know that he's great when it comes to being a pillar of somebody to look at and look upon. But as far as his ability to be the director of a hedge fund like that, I don't know yet. So hopefully he'll do well. If that makes sense, I want you to say makes sense. Okay, thank you so much for that. Who's that first person outside? Is India. Hugs and kisses. India XOXO, thanks for that. Young J216 says makes sense. All right, Glenn Lloyd says makes sense. Now, I'm not hating on the brother at all. I want him to win. I want him to turn, I think it was 14 million. I want him to turn it to 140 million. I want him to turn it to $1 billion. I want him to show that African-American crowdfunding and group economics works well. I want him to win. I have no benefit in him losing at all. At the same time, if I'm teaching and I'm giving advice to my close friends, I don't want them to be mad at me because it don't work out right. But I'm just saying there's some red flags. But at the same time, Jay gets paid very well for his television appearances. So I don't know where this flash is coming from, which is good. I understand flash does sell, which is why I'm unapologetically flashy. I agree with that. I just need to see. I need to see before I want to invest large sums of money. But if you just believe in the movement and you want to see it do well, throw $100,000, not 100, throw $1,000 in there and let it sit and watch it grow. Same thing when it comes to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I don't believe in cryptocurrency at all. I will never, ever on earth tell anybody to invest in cryptocurrency. Now, when it comes to foreign exchange and forex, I will tell them all day long to invest in it because it's time tested. You understand what I'm saying? You can see what gold trends at. You can see what the euro USD trends at. You can see what the JPY GBP trades at. You can see what the Aussie US dollar trades at. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that you want to invest in, things that has a track record. We're not going to be foolish, but we will use faith, if that makes sense. Does that answer that question? You still with me, O'Shea?
Oh, I put myself on mute. Okay, so it wasn't echoing. I was trying to talk. Okay, let me do this also. I think that was the only question.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Let me just say this outside of this. Okay, guys, for those people outside of, like, I saw Trucker Brown, I have a list of people that I want to work with, that I need to work with by the end of the year. And I'm already 85 to 90 collaborations behind. Guys, I'm not taking anybody new outside of that, because even ED and Cole, me and him, how long are we supposed to do this show, Brother Cole? How long ago was that?
We're busy, bro. I think you were in Kenya and I was in Turks and Caicos, and I think this is about a month. It took us a month to get this thing done.
Okay, and this is what a brother that has 17,000 subscribers, is all that. Okay, I was in Uganda. Brother Ghana Dan. I was working on things for my brother. I'm handling some things for him for his particular farm situation in Ghana. I'm trying to help him do certain things too. I don't have any room for anybody new. I put that up yesterday. So again, I can only work with, I'm booked for the entire year. So if it takes me this long to get with the brother that's ED and Cole with 18,000 subscribers, if you have like 5 or 10 or less than 100, brother, you gonna be in 2026, nigga. So I'm just letting people know right now that I am booked for the entire 2019. That's how many collaborations that I have to do. So for right now, I can't take anybody else new. All right, that's what I want to say there, brother. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Thanks so much. So Young Jay says, I hit up Dean Cole a month ago. Absolutely, Young Jay. I appreciate you so much for that, Young Jay. Matter of fact, let me show. This is what I ain't gonna do that, because last time I did that, it messed up the screen. I ain't gonna do that. I was gonna show Young Jay when he hit me up. we actually did that. All right, so Robert Boone says, wow, how we love the white man. Robert, help me understand, what did you gather from what I said to say that I love the white man? Help me to understand that, Robert.
Who said that?
Robert.
Get him out. No, get his ass out of here.
No. Let's engage. Let's engage. Let's engage. So Robert, help me to understand. I need for you to add some validity to that. Validate why you would assume that I would say that I would love the white man based on what I said. Help me to understand that, Robert. Let's have a conversation about this, Robert. Let's talk about it. You say, can we please get Jay Morrison on his site to give a rebuttal? That would be awesome if you can get him on here. And listen, what I said, Robert, I didn't say anything negative about him at all. See, this is the thing, Robert. I'm not a no-name YouTuber with a purple R. I am a legitimate consultant with a consulting firm that's held to a higher standard. If you go and you get butt shots from a chick at the strip club in the bathroom and she dies, she goes to jail for manslaughter. If you get a doctor to go in that same place and give butt shots, he won't go to jail, but he will lose his livelihood because it's called malpractice. You're in the presence of a consultant, a legitimate consultant. I'm not a YouTuber that's trying to pontificate on YouTube to get likes and views. No disrespect to anybody that is that, but you're in the presence of a legitimate consultant that have licenses that I have to. So when somebody asks me a question, it's my job to say, we need to see his track record. Unfortunately, Robert, if we just say, oh, let's just give money to Jay Morrison because he's a black man trying to do something, that same methodology is the reason why we have the president of the United States right now who has to be a celebrity in chief, who's not qualified. You have to be qualified. In every other thing, you have to be qualified. I can go and represent myself in court being what's called pro se. But if I am an attorney, I have to pass and get licenses, and I have to show that I am qualified to be a legitimate attorney. That being said, Robert, what I said is nothing against him at all. I said specifically, I want to see him succeed. But if you ask me as a consultant, should you give money to him right now? He's not time tested. It doesn't mean that I want him to fail. I want him to win. So what you have to do, Robert, is you have to realize when you're in the presence of a God, and you have to realize when you're in the presence of greatness, and you have to realize that what I just gave you was worth $250 that you would have to pay me. The only reason why, Robert, you have access to this is because I am doing this with and for O'Shea, not because I give out free information and free advice. Understand the difference. So make sure that, like I said, remember when we talked about this, guys, there's some people that have this chip on their shoulder to say, oh, I got denied for my loan because I'm black. No, it's because you don't qualify. Robert is that type of person that'll say, oh, you trying to love the white man because you think this black man need to prove himself. Why on earth, Robert? Let's assume that you are heterosexual. Let's assume that you don't have. So, Robert, why on earth will you take the love of your life and let somebody who say, oh, I'm a doctor, to look at her vagina just because they're a doctor? Or will you make sure that they're OBGYN? Why on earth would you put the livelihood of your kids in the hands of somebody, some jackleg that say, oh, well, you know what, I'm a doctor on YouTube and I can deliver babies because I done read 5 books on it? Or would you allow the mother of your unborn child to make sure that they are time tested and qualified to deliver that child? Help me to understand, Robert, why on earth do you assume that I am not pro-black when I am unapologetically black and woke just because I say this man needs to be tested? Help me to understand that, Robert. Please do. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go to the next step. My bad, O'Shea. I love trolls because trolls make me money. I love trolls.
Let me do my part. Get his motherfucking ass out of here. Get his ass out of here, dusty motherfucker. Shit.
Jack leg doctor, absolutely. T. Kelly, you got a jack leg doctor getting butt shots in the basement for like Cardi B. Come on with the game, man.
Get his ass out of here. Somebody time his ass out.
Absolutely. So who's that? Crazy says Edine Cole, time is money. Absolutely. Listen, I would rather waste money before I waste time. I can get $10,000 back, but I can never get back 10,000 hours. Never. Absolutely.
All right, let me see here.
All right, who's that? That's keep it. What's that? What's that?
Shout out to my boy, Keep It Techie. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Keep It Ichi says much respect, good stream. Absolutely.
Let me see what else we got here. Guys, who has questions or anything? I mean, I don't know, Brother Dean. Was there anything that we needed to cover that we didn't cover? Maybe because it's something that I missed. Maybe you wanted to tell the people because we got 230. And I think that, before I say this, we would have had more people if maybe if I had did it on my other channel, but still, this is a pretty good crowd. I'm not upset with the
Yeah,
crowd.
bro. Listen, look, you and I, anything you need, bro, I'll make myself available because I like and I love what you do. This is something I want to know from you.
Yes, sir.
Help me to understand this movement. Help me to understand, what is it called?
The manosphere.
The manosphere. Teach me about the manosphere.
Well, the manosphere in general is not necessarily a black construct. It's a construct that deals with men's issues. That was the white manosphere, guys who were, kind of against like feminism, guys who were against, things that were going on in society against men. And the black manosphere, which kind of got popular around 3 years ago, deals with the black male experience and things that black men deal with through their voice. And as we know, that a lot of people don't like to hear black men discuss their own issues and what they have been through and how we see the world. And there was a need for our own media, our own podcasts, and some of our own kind of content. And that's what the manosphere, the black manosphere, and my website, negromanosphere.com, is about. And so what I deal with primarily is black male issues, solutions for black men, dealing with black men that like yourself that specialize in things, and kind of basically building up certain situations that black men who are coming out of poverty into the middle class, whether it's first or second generation, that they would deal with scenarios that they would deal with. And so that's what I focus in primarily, is just particularly just black African-American male issues, African-American male based content. We have a lot of brothers that are, traveling overseas, brothers who are doing different things. And that's what the manosphere is about. It's about black male issues primarily. Black male needs, desires, and wants, outside of women.
That's good
so
stuff.
That's all that I deal in.
So I'm definitely, I am making myself indoctrinated into the black manosphere. This is something that I have and like I said, I'm going to take this stream. I'm not going to monetize it at all, but I'm going to put it on my channel. It's called, I have a playlist called Conscious Commentary, where I just talk about conscious issues that are outside of business development, and credit. But so once again, if you guys need to, make sure that you come subscribe to my YouTube channel. But I do want to start doing videos about I didn't know it was such thing as called a black manosphere, because as a business coach, I also do life coaching. So I do one-on-ones with a lot of clients, and some stuff is just about that. They ask me questions about just those type of things. And I didn't know that it was the movement going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned a lot more about, like, I know about, alpha male strategists and the advice show and different things like that. But I love the idea that there are individuals like you. And there was somebody else I heard about, what's my man name? You was talking about today, and I would love to, you was on the show that you was just on. Y'all was talking about, he's like the best content creator for the manosphere. What's his name?
That could have been Ron Wills. That could have been Black Ram 313.
Black Ram, yeah. I want to link up with individuals like that so that we can talk about the different issues that the African American faces, because there's a such thing as white privilege, whether you like it or not, and there's a such thing as woman privilege, whether you like it or not. The black woman is the fetish for the dominant society. The African American man is the fear of the dominant society. So because they are their fetish, that's what they're going to feed. That's what they're going to foster. Whereas us, what they're going to do is they are afraid of us. They are going to make things more difficult for us. And that's the reason why I teach the way that I teach. And I'm not, by any stretch of the imagination, I don't believe that, it's the white man doing this, it's the white man doing that. No, I don't believe in that. I believe that you're able, if you position yourself, you will be successful. Because I'm somebody who has come from sleeping in my car to being in $1 million house. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I know. I'm somebody that comes from the hood. Like, the reason why I talk the way that I do is because of MCI World Call. It's because I was bred to talk intelligently over the phone to different ethnicities so that I cannot be criticized or counseled out because I use colloquialisms or because I use unintelligent conversation. It's because this is my profession. You dig what I'm saying? But when I'm talking regularly and I'm just with my own circle, that's a completely different aspect. Because remember, I'm a professional on camera and I'm a professional in my everyday life. But when I'm with my friends and family, you understand, it's a completely different conversation. I said all of that to say this. you are able to create what you want. So that's why I love the manosphere, and I make myself available to you and anybody that's in your group or your circle, because we need to know and we need to see it. We need to be able to have other individuals who can talk to people like Robert and going to get Robert up out of here in a nice, intelligent way, and not discredit ourselves, to help him to understand so that he can see the change in himself and become a better man. Robert.
Let me do this. We got let me see here what we have. Shout out to Henry M. I syndicate apartment buildings and commercial offices. You're 100% on with the Jay Morrison. It's a wait and see situation.
Absolutely.
Yo Fam says went from 521 to 661 in 6 months and stuck. Need help. So that's Yo Fam.
So Yo Fam, make sure. So this is what. So this is the thing that most people don't realize about numbers, and when it comes. So I'm about to give a fancy word out there. So all right. So when people take algebra in school, they think that algebra is a big waste of time. What I need algebra for? What do I need calculus for? If you're not in the finance world, you don't. In algebra, they teach us algebraic equations. Your credit score, your FICO, is a quantitative algorithm. Fancy word, it's a math equation. So those numbers mean things. So if you're at a 521 and now you're at a 661, let me tell you what that means. That 521 means that you had a lot of old collections that was on your report. You weren't getting anything new. You were afraid of you was afraid of debt. You were afraid to get anything. So you just had old debt that was dormant. So 9 times out of 10, at a 661, it sounds like you got a lot of items removed off your credit, and you might have a new open trade line that's less than 12 to 24 months old with a high limit of around $1,000. Let me know if I'm right or wrong with that, yo fam. So if that's you, yo fam, let me know. So that means that your utilization, so there are 4 different tiers. There's 30%, so there's 10%, then there's 30%, then there's 45%, then there's 70%. So those are the 3 different tiers in what affects that quantitative algorithm. So that being said, yo fam, it sounds to me like you got a lot of old stuff removed off your credit and you have very little new credit. So that's why you're at that 660. So yo fam, let me know if I'm right or wrong. Let me see. Come talk to me, yo fam.
Okay, and shout out to A Twins. There's 117,000 subscribers. Damn, I didn't even know y'all was watching. All right, thank you for the super chat. So it looks like these are 2 brothers that have a great channel, really popping. I want to get into real estate, preferably owning and having partial ownerships on rentals. How do I get into that with low credit and barely any money? Shout out to A Twins. Thank you, Doug. I didn't even know that they had a YouTube channel, but thank you so much. I subscribed to them. And go ahead, Edine, if you want to talk about that real quick.
So A Twins, let's definitely link up the same way we got together on O'Shea channel. We can get together on your channel as well. So I want to answer your questions, A Twins, but first I need to go back to Young. I have to be because I don't want to switch. I'm going to get to them. Don't worry, I'm going to get to them, but I need for Yo Fam to talk about it. So Yo Fam, let me know, and this is how I do it on my channel. I need for you to respond. And you don't have to do a super chat, Yo Fam. I just need for you to respond, because now I'm looking for your name and your avatar. Now talk with me now. I need you to talk with me to let me know, because I want to give you you ask a question, I want to give you the right answer on what you need to do. If you don't respond, Yo Fam, I'm just going to go ahead and move forward. Okay? All right, so Yo Fam, I'm sorry. You're going. Okay, so A Twins. So A Twins, to answer your question, so you said that you want to get into real estate, preferably owning and having partial ownership on rentals. How do I get into that with low credit and barely any money? Very good question, A Twins. So first things first, you mentioned something. There are 3 different ways you can get into real estate. You say that you want to get into buying and owning. So there's the first thing that most people think about in real estate, being a real estate investor, is flipping. When I cut my teeth in real estate, I purchased my first property, like I said, when I was 18 as my primary residence. But then I started doing what's called bird dogging for my mentor, and we would flip properties. Flipping properties is buying a house, fixing it up. Let's use round numbers. Say you get a house for $50,000. This is actually our niche. This is what we used to do in Atlanta. We used to find properties for $50,000 that could appraise for $75,000. The difference is $25,000. What we would do is we would take that property, fix it up, invest $10,000 into fixing it up, and take the difference of $15,000 as profit. You do that 10 times, you now have $150,000 cash. But the cool thing about it is that the margin is so small or low, anybody can get approved for a $75,000 house. You can get a chick that's working at Magic Cities approved, or a chick that's working at Winn-Dixie, or a single mother approved. And that's what our niche was. So that's flipping. Now, what A-Twins is talking about is holding. Now, a lot of times people say, okay, I want to get into apartment complexes or duplexes or different things like that, multifamily. My advice to you, A-Twins, is if you've never, ever invested in real estate before, or if you never purchased a home before, my advice is to use an FHA. FHA stands for the Federal Housing Administration. You can get an FHA loan. Here we go. So A-Twins, what state are you in? All right, A-Twins, I need for you to talk to me now, okay? So A-Twins, what state are you in? So I need to know so that I can tell you the loan limit for your state. So what state are you in, A-Twins? Come on now. Y'all be asking questions, but I need you to be engaged with me now. A-Twins asked, how much do I need to put down? I'm about to tell you. A-Twins, it depends. So I'm about to work it out for you. Come on, A-Twins, talk to me now. Can we bring A-Twins into the group chat so we can, not the group chat, but into, okay, Illinois. All right. So if you're in Illinois, that means that the loan limit for Illinois for a multifamily for fourplex is $350,000. Okay. So that means that you can get up to $350,000 home. That's up to. That means that you can get a multifamily dwelling. I suggest you start off with like a quadruplex, a 4 quadruplex, meaning that a quadruplex means that you can live in one of the units and you can rent out the other 3. Okay. Everything understood doesn't have to be said. You can live in one unit and rent out the other 3. So a quadruplex with an FHA loan, all you would need is 3.5% down. So let's do the math. If we're doing a $350,000 unit, that would be 12,000. Let me make sure 350,000. That is hold for a second. 350. Want to make sure I'm right. That's $12,250. Just want to make sure. So with $12,250, you can then purchase that property. Now, the cool thing about that is if you have very little credit, build up your credit. You can go. I have clients that credit score goes up 200 points. If you go, A-Twins, and look at my YouTube channel, I have a playlist. The most recent video is a trucker who was in bankruptcy. His scores has gone up 200 points. So if you don't have good credit, get good credit, okay? You can easily get good credit because I teach the specificity on how you're able to get good credit. That's the first thing. Second thing is if you want to do it without building up your credit, you can build up your business credit. But then if you build up your business credit, you'll need to put 20% down. So notice, if you build up your personal, remember, if you want to build a business with bad credit, it's going to take you anywhere from 6 to 12 months. If you want to build a business with good credit, 90 days. Hear me. If you want to be a real estate investor and you want to use business credit, it's going to take you 20% down. All right. And tier 3, if you want to be a real estate investor and you can leverage your personal credit, you can do it in 60 days with 3.5% down. So like I said, if you have a 680 FICO, you can get $150,000. So out of that $150,000, my advice to you would be to take $12,500, put it as a down payment, use the rest of those funds to help fix up the property, rent all 3 of them out. Once that 3rd one is rented out, oh, well, FHA, I feel uncomfortable here. Let me rent out the 4th one. And now you have 4 pieces of property rented out for 3.5% down. You understand what I'm saying? And then go and do another one. But you utilize that, and now you have positive cash flow. And let's do round numbers. Okay, so let's say, for instance, for $350,000, like I teach in specificity, let's say for $350,000, you have 4 pieces of property in Illinois, and let's say you have a net rent of $950. So, all right, so you have 950 times 4, that's $3,800, right? So let's say, for instance, your mortgage on $350,000 is $1,250. All right, $1,250 minus $3,800. You now have a positive cash flow of $2,550. So you utilize that to use leverage, go and do it again and reproduce yourself. So if you want to get a big apartment complex, I repeat, if anybody tells you this, they're lying to you and they don't know banking and finance. They don't understand yield. You have to be able to yield to show that you're able to control this. So if you're going to get a big 150 unit apartment complex and you've never invested in real estate before, no lender and no bank will do that, unless nobody's going to do that for you, unless you're buying it cash. Okay, you have to show that you have been able to leverage and you're able to yield a good return. When I was investing in real estate, I had to do 3 transactions, flipping 3 transactions before I could purchase with no money down. Okay, once you build your relationship and you show that's why they call it a real estate portfolio. You can get that 150,000 complex if you want to, but you have to work your way up to it. A lot of us want to run because it sounds sexy and it's cool and it's a great idea, but you got to put the work into getting there. If that makes sense, you guys understand that, I want you to say makes sense. So let's be more earnest, twins. If you want this $150,000 complex, create a 24-month goal. Show that you're able to manage 10 units. Remember, fourplex 1 time, fourplex 2 times. You now have 8 properties. That 3rd property is your gateway property, okay? Once you get that 3rd property, you can get a duplex. You don't even have to get a fourplex. But let's say you get a duplex and you now have 10 pieces of property in your portfolio and you're able to show that you're able to manage and handle that. That's going to be your gateway to get that large complex. All right? You can do that in 24 months if you're serious. Now, if you just jaw jacking and you just talking slick and swallow and spit, it won't work. But if you put in the actions, you can achieve that in 20, and there's nothing wrong. And think about it. Remember, we always talk about the destination, but it's the journey that gets you there. The thing that I love about entrepreneurship is that it's not the type of man that you're going to be once you make $1 million a month. It's the type of man that you have to become in order to make $1 million a month. You're going to create financial stability in your second acquisition. Sometimes people don't even want to get to that level because they get comfortable. But if that is your heart's desire to have that 150,000 unit complex, I don't know where I said that, it just came in my mind. You're able to do that by following the steps. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, I want you to say, got it. If you're watching this on the replay, I want you to participate with me as well. I want you to make a mind muscle connection with this. And I want you to say, it makes sense. So if that makes sense, I want you to say, makes sense. I want you to say, got it. I apologize. If that makes sense, I want you to say, got it. Even if you're watching on the replay, I want you to participate as if you're watching live. I want you to say, got it. If you're watching me live right now, I want you to say, got it. So yes, you can achieve it. The same way somebody saying, can I be a doctor? Absolutely, you can be a doctor. Once you finish your 4 years in college, and then you go to medical school, you can become a doctor if you follow the steps. The exact same thing when it comes to real estate. You don't have to go and get any fancy degrees, but if you build yourself up the right way, you can do that. If you guys got it, I want you to say, got it. Thank you so much for participating. First person who was to participate was, what's that? Marlon 76 says, got it. Thank you for participating. All right. Melanite Order says, got it. Thank you for participating. All right. So let's see if LA Twin says they got it. All right. A Twin says it makes sense, but I need more information. What more information do you need? When you say you need more information, what more do you need? Or just rewrite. If I said it too fast, and there's nothing wrong with that, I get that. Say if I said it too fast, and I don't mean to be condescending because I talk a lot, talk fast. Rewatch it again. But when you say you need more information, what do you need? I just gave you the blueprint. So when you say you need more information, that doesn't sound like you need more information. It sounds like you're trying to convince yourself that you can do it, but you can do it. If you learn how to position yourself, you can do it. Either A, fix your own credit, or B, use business credit. But to answer your question, yes. All right, what other questions we got, O'Shea?
He asked another question. Shout out to some of the people that super chatted. Harry Mingo for $10 super chat. Black Man's Option, thank you for the support. I would like to know any information on financing a home overseas. This is interesting. Around $200,000 to $300,000 for investment properties. How can that be done, or do you have any contacts? Thanks.
That's a very good question. I'm going to answer that question, but because I'm with A Twins asked, do I need a real estate license? No. You can purchase real estate and you don't need a real estate license. You need a real estate license in order to sell real estate for another person. If you want to be a real estate agent to sell for somebody else and make a commission off of the acquisition, then you need a real estate license. But you do not need a real estate license to buy and sell real estate. You don't need a real estate license to build from the ground up, but you do need a real estate license if you want to be an agent. Let's say, for instance, your aunt has a house. You know what, A Twins, I want to sell my house. So, okay, in order to sell your house, you can use a real estate agent, and that real estate agent has a network of other licensed realtors that they represent buyers. That's when you need a license. But you do not need a license if you're going to build or you're going to purchase your own property that you're going to own and manage. But yes, to answer that question, it says, I would like to know information about financing home overseas, around $200,000 to $200,000 for investment properties. How can that be done? Or do you have any contacts? Thanks. So yes, Black Man's Option, you're going to need working capital. You're not going to be able to get a loan that's tied to real estate. So let's talk about this. So a mortgage is a loan that's tied to real estate. It's easier to get a mortgage because that house is tied to the real estate. If you want to get a mortgage is specific only for real estate. But if you want to get working capital loan, or if you want to get a operating grant or a universal operating loan, that can be used to buy $100,000 of cocaine or $100,000 of cotton candy. It can be used to buy $100,000 of shoes, or you can be used to buy a $100,000 condo that's on the coast of Costa Rica. You can do whatever you want to do with working capital. So what you need to do, I suggest that you build up a holding company. A holding company is nothing but an LLC or an INC that is universal. Most of the time it's like business management, okay, or holdings. And what a holding company does is that it holds assets. So if you build up a holding company, you can easily get $200,000 in capital from multiple different sources. Let's say you get 5 different loans. So 5 different loans, that is $25,000. 5 times 5 is 25. So that way you can get $250,000. No, I did that backwards. Okay, I did that backwards. My mind, we've been talking for a long time. Let's say you get 5 different places, okay? You get $25,000 from 5 different places. That's $150,000. Forgive me, Lord have mercy. So let's say, or you do that, then you're able to utilize that to acquire that property. But instead of paying a mortgage, you're now going to pay all of those different loans. But if it's done the right way, and if you have a plan, not just to own the property, but what is the plan to make that property profitable? What is the plan? Like if you want to live in that property, then you're going to have to pay all of those different loans, and you can then consolidate that. Now, this is a cool thing. Once you own the real estate, okay, once you own the property and you have what's called equity in the property, you can leverage that to consolidate 5 or 10 different loans into one loan so that you can pay. So there are different steps. So yes, are you able to do it? You can, but you can't get a traditional mortgage. So like you can go downtown, or you can go to your subdivision and get a mortgage from the bank. You can't do that when you're going overseas. You're going to have to get universal money and then use that universal money overseas to purchase that property. If that makes sense and you guys got it, I want you to say makes sense. So the first time I asked you guys to say got it. This time I want you to say makes sense. I want to make sure that you guys understand that I'm teaching truth to power and I'm educating you guys at the same time.
All right. So I had to comment that.
Okay, thanks so much, O'Shea. Appreciate that.
I want to show I'm participating too, so I'm just watching the chat.
Thank you for participating, O'Shea. I appreciate it. So the first person to participate besides O'Shea was Brandon Phillips, says makes sense. And then Creasy says makes sense. Creasy got a nice little profile picture. I don't know if that's listen, Creasy. I don't know if that's What they call them things? Catfish or not? But that's a
No,
nice.
that's her because she followed me on LinkedIn. That's her. That's her.
That's her. Okay, Crazy, nice. That's a nice smile, Crazy. I see you. All right. Makes sense. Thanks so much for that. All right. So that answers that question. What's the next question, O'Shea?
The next question is Daniel Joshua. Thanks so much for the $2 super chat. What do you think about churning? I don't even know what that means, but
I don't know what churning. I don't know what that means. Chumming.
Churn.
It says CHU.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the term. I mean, like that means that people like fall off or like kind of leave or.
I don't know what.
Okay, it's move or the cost to move about. Okay, let's see what it is in Investopedia.
I don't know what chumming means.
Yeah, churn. Like when I used to work for sales, if customers churned, that means that you would have to like make up that sale the next month or something like that. So churning is probably the practice of broker conduct of excessive trading in clients, mainly to generate commission. Churning is an unethical and illegal practice that violates SEC rules and security laws.
That's what I think about. I think it violates SEC rules and trading laws, and we don't do it.
There you go. I mean, that was a good question. I mean, like, yeah. So, okay. Credit. Who was putting credit rewards?
So, ask who is doing credit cards or credit rewards?
I don't know what these motherfuckers talking about. No goddamn credit cards. What are y'all talking about? Y'all making me nervous. Credit card. Why is there credit card rewards in here?
I guess somebody. I guess it must be somebody that's trying to drive up traffic for their.
I'm about to start timing everybody out. I'm like, look, okay. That's what turning is. Okay, because I was about to start. I was like, man, don't start trolling up in this thing. Y'all know I'm irritable. A lot of niggas getting timed out. I was about to start. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Basically joining and then leaving to get certain benefits. And once you get it, they just leave it. Okay, I understand.
Okay.
Okay, I understand. Yeah. Let's go. Okay. You was right, Mr. Dean. I own less than $1,500, but I watched a lot of videos on YouTube saying don't pay the debt. Got a new sub in YouTube ODJ. Thank you, yo fam. I appreciate all you brothers, man. That really appreciated the brother here. I don't know, man. Is it King Nick? How can I forget my brother out of Atlanta? I'm loving the business interviews. Keep them coming, O'Shea. Yeah, man. I'm trying to step my content game up. So I mean, I don't know this business, but he does. So that's why he's here. Okay, hotel.
So all right, so Young Fam. So to remind you guys, Young Fam told me that Young Fam was at 521 and then they went to 661. All right, and so now they're stuck. So that means that Young Fam, you're going to have to reduce your utilization. So you say that you owe less than $1,500, but you watched a lot of YouTube videos saying don't pay the debt. So yes and no. So one, you did, like you said, I was right, meaning that you had a lot of old collections and you erased them. There's nothing wrong with that. That's good. That's why you went from 521 to 661. But if you want to get above that 680 mark and you want to get to the 720 club, then you're going to have to utilize it. So remember, your credit score is a quantitative algorithm. It's an algorithm. If you put in certain things, you're going to get out certain things. So by you being at that 661, that means that your utilization is high. So that means you're probably maxed out at that 1,600 and you don't have anything new. That's the reason why I always tell people you never want to get a secured credit card, because secured credit cards are horrible when it comes to personal credit, because that secured credit card is going to show as if you are a high risk borrower. And so when you deal with credit mirroring and when you go into that quantitative algorithm, you're going to stunt yourself, and it's not fair. And what happens is that uneducated people try to educate us and they'll say, oh, go get a secured credit card. No, because if you get a secured credit card, you're going to get stuck. Yeah, you might get a little 600 score, but we ain't talking about 600. We're talking about 720s. We're talking about 800. We don't want to just have a pretty score. We want to actually get funding and get credit. You understand what I'm saying? So because we know this, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So what you want to do is, like I said, young, what's your name again? Young fam, your fam, do me a favor, subscribe, do a screenshot. Go to Instagram, follow, do a screenshot. Message me those two things, and I'm going to send you that teaching that's going to show you how to boost your scores. You need unsecured lines of credit, not secured credit cards, because there's something that's called credit mirroring. It's kind of like this. If you ever dated, I have a good problem, O'Shea. I recently just broke up with my fiance. She was bad. So guess what my inbox is flooded with now? bad chicks. Once you date a fat chick, no disrespect to anybody, all the fat chicks like, oh, he's a chubby chaser. Let's go to this guy because this is what he's kind of like. It's the law of attraction. It's so funny. Like chicks, like I've seen memes that say I was attracted to him until I saw what his ex looked like. Have you seen stupid stuff like that?
Yeah,
like women will judge you based on who you've dated in the past. Credit companies are the exact same way. If you have high risk debt or you have high risk vendors on your personal credit profile, not business credit, we're talking about personal credit now. If you have high risk vendors on your business credit profile, they're going to automatically assume that you are a high risk borrower. But that's not true. A lot of times in the African American diaspora, we're uneducated borrowers. So a Caucasian person will get a piggyback or a trade line, or somebody will add them to their authorized profile and they'll instantly get 700 credit scores, not because they're born with it, but because somebody added them to a American Express or added them to a Discover. But in us, nobody has that credit, so we got to go out and buy it. And what the first thing people say, the easiest way to buy it is with a secured credit card, which is horrible. You don't do that. So in order for you to do that, you can purchase authorized users, which is not something I suggest a novice does if you're just trying to get a better score. That's advanced. I suggest, like I said, there are 4 different companies that will give you guaranteed lines of credit, okay? They are unsecured credit cards and unsecured accounts with vendors. They're going to guarantee $15,000. So you're going to have $15,000 of new credit that is not a secured credit card, but that is an unsecured loan that's going to show up on your credit profile. Your utilization is going to drop down to less than 10%, and your scores are going to skyrocket. That's how you do it. Now, there's people out there say, oh, getting your rent to report to your credit report is better than getting a secured credit card. Getting a secured loan against a money market account or against a note with your bank is better than getting a secured credit card. Secured credit cards it's self-sabotage. It's the worst. Getting a secured credit card is like getting with an ugly chick going into a room full of pretty chicks. You ain't never gonna be able to get one of them as a girl.
Oh man. No, I definitely understand that.
That's the best way I can describe it.
It was a very, very good way to describe it too. Let me see the brother A Twins. Thank you for the support, brother. Is it better owning property out of the country in the US? Also, can I email you to gain more knowledge? This brother has 117,000 subscribers. I think he wants to get in contact with you.
Yeah, so A Twins, go to my Instagram. It's E.Dean Cole on Instagram. It's the one that has, I have two Instagrams. I have Instagrams for chicks that I date and I don't want them to know who I am. And then I have my business Instagram, the one that has 81,000 followers. Go to that Instagram and message me and we can connect and we can have conversation and we can collab like this. And I can help you to get more information. So when you say what's better, it's like a tailor-made suit. So A Twins, I don't know how tall you are, I don't know how big you are, but I'm a big old joker. I'm 6'4", all right? And I weigh 260 pounds. I have a 48-inch chest. So because what's tailor-made for me isn't the same thing that's good for somebody who is 6'1", who has a 38-inch chest. So that's the reason why we go to doctors and we get prescribed information. There's no universal information. The same way we get a tailor-made suit, there is no universal information. So you can't say what's better for somebody. You can say based on what your choice is. Now, me personally, I believe that based on what I know about economics and what I know about where I want to be, you're going to get a better return on your investment if you rent out property in the United States of America because of how easy it is to tap into nouveau riche money. But when you are international, when you're talking about investing, the poverty level outside the United States is huge, it's high, and it's very competitive. If you want to know my personal opinion, if you want to invest, to be a real estate investor, to build and make money, you can easily do it in the United States. Now, if you're talking about a vacation home, or you want to talk about living the life and just getting off the grid and getting out of this business called the United States of America, then yes. Like, I'm from Sierra Leone. My family is African. And so in Sierra Leone, you can get a house on the ocean for about $40,000, and it is a beautiful mansion. My family has houses in Nigeria and mansions. I was telling this to who was I telling this to? I was telling this to Trucker Brown. Trucker Brown, I was telling him the day before yesterday. My cousin Nunso, her and her husband have a 10-bedroom house in Nigeria that they built for 125,000 US dollars. But it's not in Lagos. It is in the village. So it is like 4 hours away. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to understand where you're talking about and where you're going. If you want to go to Lagos Island in Nigeria, it's multi-million dollar homes all over the place. But you have to understand. So when people say international is a lot more complex. It depending on where you want to be. I was looking at some property in Puerto Rico. I'm not looking at property in Puerto Rico anymore because of how severe the hurricanes have gotten. At first, there was a really nice little a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom condo complex right on the water. It was like $40,000. I was looking at that heavy. I was like, I can buy that cash, but not anymore. I'm rethinking that mindset. So when you ask, is it better? It doesn't matter what's better. It's best for you. Are you allergic to penicillin? Are you allergic to amoxicillin? What is your blood pressure? What is your medical history? The same way a doctor needs to know what is your lineage to determine what's best for you, the exact same thing that a financial advisor would. If you guys got that, I want you to give me the laughy face emoji. If you got the iPhone, if you guys get that, I want you to give me the laugh. Give me 3 laughy face emojis. If you guys understand that, even if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to participate with me. Give me the 3 laughy face emojis if you got that. Okay. Give me 3 laughy face emojis. I want you to participate with us. Okay. Dude, you about to go live? When you going live on the advice channel?
Man, Phil told me that is drop off his kids. But when I get back, if you're still available, I'll hit you up. So I'm kind of waiting on Phil, man. So that's where that's at.
So Royal Palm Diaz gave me the thumbs down, and his message was deleted. All right. First Generation African gave me the 3 laughy faces. Thank you for participating, Roscoe. The 3 laughy faces. Thank you for participating, Marcus. The 3 laughy faces. Thank you for participating, yo fam. I appreciate you. Thank you for participating. All right. Hocha Dragon. Very interesting name. Thank you so much for participating. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. Jason Pierre, thank you for participating. Awesome. Yes. So that's the reason why I can't say necessarily what is best for you, but I can say what I would suggest. You're going to make more money in the United States because you have the ability to tap into the middle class, but the lower class and the upper class in other countries are a lot vast in the United States, outside of the United States of America. So make sure that you follow me on IG and message me on IG, the one that's E.Dean Cole, not E Dean Cole, but E.Dean Cole. That will take you to my business IG. Message me there, and then we can talk about how we can collaborate and what we can do. Any other questions, O'Shea? So we can rock, my man. I ain't got nothing else to do. Listen.
We can do a few. We do about another half hour. Listen until he calls me back. Let me do this. Shout out to C Freezy, Red Sox, Dylan. Okay, thanks for the info. Can I have holdings under my S corp or under a DBA within my S corp?
That's a very good question. A DBA stands for doing business as. This is a nickname. You can't have it under a nickname. You have to have it under the physical person. So yes, you would need to, and my advice to you is you need to create a separate business. We talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump has over 1,500 businesses. You need to create its own separate business, its own separate entity. I have a client of mine who's enrolled into my course. He is a professor. He's a teacher. His wife is an accountant. He currently has 75 properties, and every last one of those properties is its own separate LLC, because what he needs to do, and it's like 123 Prosperity Lane is the name of his LLC, or if it's 1689 Thurgood Lane, or whatever, every address is his own LLC. The reason why is because one, he's able to build business credit off of each one of his businesses, and two, he has limited liability. So words mean things. So LLC stands for limited liability company. S corporation is good. You're going to get good tax shelters, but if God forbid, if somebody has a house has a let me show you the two scenarios. All right, so let's say for instance you have a umbrella company, right? You have one company, you have all of these businesses under this one company. Let's say for instance you have a house, same scenario, 75 houses under one holding company, under one umbrella. Somebody goes to a party knowing good and doggone well that they're allergic to peanuts. And the person says, hey, I have a brand new peanut recipe. This, better yet, let's be more specific. What's the name of the young lady who died in the freezer at that party in Chicago? What was her name?
Kenita Jenkins, something like that?
Jenkins, prime example. If Kenita Jenkins' mama was more savvy, she could have sued the hotel franchise. She could have sued the people who made the freezers. She could have sued the contractors that installed the freezers. She could have sued the people that made the cameras who saw her death. She could have sued the temp agencies that hired the person to man the cameras that saw her death. When you dealing with litigation, you have something that's called charging orders, and you have to protect yourself. So when you have one holding company, God forbid you have a Kanika Jenkins situation where somebody dies at a property you own. If you get the right person, they will sue you, your entire company, and they can dissolve all of those other properties because of charging orders. But when you have individual businesses, you have limited liability. So that way, that one entity is subject to litigation versus all of your entities being subject to litigation. If you guys got it, I want you to say OMG. If you understand that, I want you to say OMG. It's like you risking a little bit of money versus risking a whole bunch of money. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it works. That's the best way. If you got that, I want you to say OMG. When you have a holding company, this umbrella that seems sexy that people like to talk about, and it seems the lazy way, and it looks good on paper, but when you're talking about actually working and people sue, and I think the reason why I am so privy to this is because in Atlanta, Georgia is the second highest, not Atlanta, in Georgia is the second highest state that has the most frivolous lawsuits. Like people will, I don't know, have you guys seen the memes where like there's this guy, he was doing practical jokes and he was running in the street, jumping on people's cars, and the meme says, when you're trying to pay for college. Have you guys seen those different memes and different things like that? If you've seen those different memes, I want you to say seen it. So basically people will try to sue you. If they think you got money, ask 50 Cent. People will try to sue you. You understand what I'm saying? People make their ambulance chasers, which are attorneys, that make their entire career off of frivolous lawsuits. What's old girl name who is jumping on the bandwagon for all this revenge porn? What's old girl's name?
I know you're talking about, but I don't know. Let's see, somebody in the chat knows. Anybody know what he's talking about?
What's the young lady's name who, the attorney who is jumping on all these revenge porn lawsuits? All right, so Justice for it says, yeah, Gloria, all right. Gloria, all right. Thank you so much for that, T. Kelly. So Gloria, all right. There are different attorneys that make a living off of frivolous lawsuits because let me tell you something. It's more cost effective for me to settle out of court versus to fight it. It's a lot more cost effective. Let's go ahead, let's get a little settlement and go about your business because I don't want to drag out my time. I don't want to drag out my reputation. And I don't want to have to deal with a full lawsuit because most attorneys charge $250 to $500 an hour versus just going and paying them off and going about your business. So it's less damage control. And because attorneys know that, they will go ahead and settle, not because they're guilty, just because they don't want to deal with the headache, because there's business in suing. So that being said, you need to protect yourself. And I think that if you want to have all these wonderful ideas, you need to have all these wonderful different LLCs. Don't be lazy. It costs money to make money. It takes $150 in most cases. So that means that if you want to have 10 different businesses, invest $1,500 into doing that. You're going to save money. But my advice to you is don't create a business just because you want to create it. The best thing for you to do is to create a business once your primary business is successful. Not stable, but successful. There's a difference. You want to leverage your business and create a secondary business when your current business is successful. You don't want to be a jack of all trade and a master of none. If you think about this, like right now, I have this light shining on me, and the light is spread out. But if I focus and become laser focused, and I put all of my energy and effort, the same way I put all of that light will burn a hole through my flesh because it's laser focused, it's effective. That I think the mistake in the African American diaspora is we think multiple jobs is good. You can't go nowhere. If you take 5 steps here and you take 6 steps here, but then you got to take a step back to go to the other trail that you were on, and you take another 4 steps here, and then you go back, and it's this false sense of success. You're not successful because you have a lot of pieces of paper. You're successful because your business makes paper. If that makes sense. And the reason why I say that is because I have to explain it to people that your business is nothing but a piece of paper unless you're able to get funding. Your business is nothing but an idea and a piece of paper unless you're able to execute. Because a lot of times people say, oh, I can start a business out of my baby mama basement. You sure can, but you ain't gonna get no money for it. What's the point of saying that you're a CEO and you can't even afford to pay your cable bill? Mm-hmm. I teach you to live the CEO lifestyle and build business credit. My course doesn't teach you how to start a business. My course teaches you how to start a business and get funding for your business. There's a difference. Like you can be a CEO in name or you can be a CEO in actual recognition. There you go, O'Shea.
Let me see what we have here. See, Freezy, I love this show. Knowledge is power. Our people must apply the knowledge once they get it. I want to teach how to make money selling online. Shout out to C Freezy, Red Sox fan. Great show, great info. Are those Callaway irons behind your desk? We need to play a few rounds.
Okay, yes, these are Callaway irons. There's actually, it was a gift from my brother. I've only used those clubs twice, my man. I've only used those clubs twice. We can definitely get some rounds together. That sounds like fun.
What are oh, there you play golf?
Yes, those are golf clubs right there, right behind the Hold on 1 second. You see, those are golf clubs right there.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see. Okay,
yeah.
All right, yeah, man. So I tried to play golf before, man, but it was
it's fun, man. Like, I suck at golf, but it's fun. It's fun to be outside. It's fun to network. It's fun to puff on cigars, talk slick and swallow spit, rub elbows with other CEOs and entrepreneurs. That's like the best part about golf. Is just a good excuse to be outside and just to network with other people. It's real fun. That's what I like about it. I suck at golf.
Yeah, I know I suck. So, but my best friend is a dentist, and he plays. He tried to get me to play. I was like, nigga, if you don't get me up out of here with this bullshit. But yeah, man, a lot of people play golf and everything. I need to, maybe one day I might get my skills up there, man. But I can't even get the ball off the thing or nothing. I'd be just throwing it out there, ghetto as hell. I can't do shit. So let me see if we have any more questions. And guys, you guys have been so patient with us on this stream as far as staying in the stream and everything for all this time. I appreciate you guys. We actually, brother, have more likes than we have viewers now.
There we go. There we go. More likes and viewers. I appreciate that. Let's get those likes up. Let those trolls go away. We scared the trolls away. So check this out. So somebody asked, so James asked the question. He said, so what if I'm selling used auto parts on eBay? So let's talk about it, James.
Okay.
James, if you have $100 of your own hard-earned money to go and buy a used brake pad, or let's say you have $10,000 of credit to go and buy used brake pads, are you still able to take them brake pads and sell them online on eBay? The answer is yes. So yes, you can use business credit for any legitimate business, whether you are starting a church or you starting a whorehouse in Nevada. As long as it's a legitimate business. Right. Okay, the reason why I say whorehouse in Nevada, because that's the only place it's legal. A legitimate business, okay? If it's a legitimate legal business, you can use business credit for it. No self-limiting beliefs. You can build business credit for any legitimate business. I will say it again. Okay. For any legitimate business, it don't matter what it is. I think that's the number one question that most people ask. People will pine to get to me, and they'll pay a consultation. I charge, like I said, for non-clients, I charge $250. For clients, I charge $150. People will pay $250 an hour just to talk to me. And I understand this because they're really asking, help me to think that I can do it. And I get that. That's when I tap into life coaching and I help them get past their self-limiting belief. And they'll say, can I get business credit to sell watches? The real answer is, Dean, how can I do that? Like, teach me how to do it. And that's when I got to go into coaching mode. But once again, any legitimate business that's legal and legitimate for this, if you want to sell weed and you are in Colorado, you can build and you can have a dispensary. But if you are in North Carolina, you can't do it. You understand what I'm saying? But if you are in a state where it's legitimate, any legitimate business you can get business credit to sell weed if you are in a state where it is legal. Any legitimate business you can build business credit for. All right. Very good question.
Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, hold on a second. All right, let's see. Do we have any other? Let's see. What other questions do we have? Hold on a second. Do that. Let me go to the stream. Damn, I got so many windows open, nigga. All right. Hold on a second.
Yeah, Jab Bo says most young Black business men and women should learn to play golf. It's very good networking. Very, very fun. Very, very good networking. So somebody said, because this is fire. That's good stuff. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the support.
Somebody said basketball's a real niggas.
It definitely is.
We still live? Yes, we are still live. All right.
Yes, we are still live. Yes.
Okay, so guys, I'll take about 10 to 15 minutes left on the stream for the stream, just thinking, when Phil gets ready, so I'll have enough time to get myself together for this one. So guys, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What's the stream gonna be about tomorrow? What's the like I said, I definitely
should Black men protect Black women that they don't know
that are pregnant? Oh yes.
The pregnant situation, yes. So, it's going to be a hot one like fire. So we got
I want to
a bunch of big time people going to be there. Y'all know the Sunday Rumbles, man. There's going to be a lot of people watching, and everything. It could get ugly. Well, it does get ugly because we got some people that come through. Anthony Brian Logan. You heard of this guy before?
Anthony, I haven't heard of Anthony Brian Logan. I haven't heard of him.
You've never heard of Anthony Brian Logan?
Logan? Nope, I have never heard of him.
Oh, you're gonna
I would know.
You're gonna get to know him. Yeah, you'll get to know him for sure.
Tomorrow. Okay, that's what's up. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Man, you're gonna get to know a lot. So I don't know. You feel from the advice show. I'll see if he, usually he comes through every Sunday.
Okay, that'd be dope. That'd be dope.
He comes through every Sunday. Let's see. Brent. I was reach out to Brandon Tatum. So it be popping, man. We be having a good time on there. We got some people from the pro Black community. I'm gonna reach out to my brother Ben X, see if he want to come on from the Nation. You already know who it is. Also,
yeah, we actually supposed to be linking up. We was like right before I went to the same thing that happened between you and I. Same thing happened with Ben and I. We were supposed to link up when he was in Atlanta. Before I went to Turks and Caicos, who was it that came out? Not Killer Mike, but what's my man came out and represented real hard. Not Killer Mike. What's my man name? David Banner came out and he showed out. That was really good. But somebody asked a question. I think this is gonna be the last question because I know.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm
gonna make it real easy. So Justice for All says, do I need $1,000 to invest in stocks? If you have $1,000, Justice for All, my advice is to you: do not invest into stock, but invest in the option. When you buy an option, that means that you are purchasing a portion of the stock only if it goes up or it goes down. So there's a term when it comes to the stock market. It says bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. Basically what that means is that if the market is bullish, meaning that the market is going up, you'll make money. If the market is going down, meaning that it's slow, that's a bearish market, you can still make money. So there's something that's called a call option, which means that you think this option is going to go up. That's called a call. There's something that's called a put option, which means that the stock is going to go down. You can make money when the stock goes down. My advice is that if you only have $1,000, You don't want to invest in the stocks. It will be better for you to invest in a growth stock mutual fund, which is a smaller percentage of multiple stocks that performs very well. I think that that's a very good tool, but I don't suggest that you invest in that stock. I think you should invest in the option or even invest into Forex. You'll make faster money and more money if you invest in the Forex. If you deal with somebody who has a proven track record of success, you can make a lot of money. I made over $5,000 in a day dealing with Forex, but that's another conversation for another day. That's the way the industry. Guys, if you have not yet, make sure you come to my YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/money making motivation. Hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. And once you do that, come over to my Instagram channel. My Instagram account is E.Dean Cole. Do the screenshot of both of those, letting me know that you subscribe and that you follow me. And then I will send you that information that's going to show you how you can boost your personal credit over 100 points. O'Shea, thanks so much, man. I know you got to roll out, my man. I look forward to watching your next show. I'm going to order me something to eat, and I'm going to sit back and watch your show. And I look forward to being on the show tomorrow. I appreciate it so much, my man. Thank you so much for sharing your platform.
Let me just say this, man. The brother came over here, man, and and some K. Jones just said, man, thank you for letting the brother rock, right? And look, man, the brother is smooth, man. When the brother is smooth, all you gotta do is let him do his goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? And I wish a lot of us brothers would just do that. You know what I mean? Not be so threatened by another brother's talent and skill. This brother did a really great fucking job today, and he deserves a motherfucking standing ovation. The brother came over here and showed his ass, and he had his cigars popping. He had the little nice little thing as it was coming through, and everything. The man got style. You can't hate on him, man. And I just really, man, brother, I want you to come back. And these are the kind of brothers, man. Can't nobody really do it like black men. When you think about black men, it just black men black men are some incredible motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we make everything look good. We got that ability to make everything look good. Yes.
And the brother did his thing. Did he not? So thank you, brother, for coming over here and blessing us, because you didn't have to come over and do that for us, man. You're a busy person. You made time for me. Yes. So I appreciate you. I want to let you know that I appreciate you, if nothing else, man. And you guys support our brother, man. Support our brother. He's doing some marvelous things, and reach out to him and participate on his live streams, and we'll be bringing the brother back. He'll be on tomorrow, the Sunday Rumble. And anything else you want to tell the people, brother?
That's it. The only thing I want to say to you guys, listen, is the only person stopping you from being successful is you. If you don't know it, then you can learn it. If you have not yet met them, then you can meet them. If you don't have the character, you can develop it. Go get them, because success is waiting for you.
All right. And so again, brothers, thank you so much again for, everything, like I said, for coming through. And guys, I'm sending out the emails right now. So, it might be crazy. I'm thinking about, should I send it to Cynthia G for tomorrow's topic?
Yes. I would love to talk with Cynthia about it. Send this. Let's talk to Cyn about it. Let's see what she has to say about it.
I'm gonna hit that send button, because Cynthia G will set it off. So shout out to Cynthia G. Shout out to Cynthia G. Ain't no hater. But I gotta set it off, bro. I gotta set it off. So boom! I sent the email. So she might be on tomorrow's show. I don't know.
She might not. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, man. This is the Sunday Rumble. Anybody can get that work. So, all right, brother Eden. Well, let me go ahead and get ready for my show with Field Advice Show. Tomorrow's gonna be a hell of a show. Shout out to my brother JR Wisdom, man. Come hit me up, bro. I would love to start working with you again, bro. I know you kind of been gone, but shout out to our brother JR Wisdom, man. He's also a brother that's always been supporting us. So love to work with you too. Thank you, Eden, for everything that you do, brother.
You're very welcome. I appreciate you. All right, my man. You have a good one. All of you guys have a good one.
Peace out, y'all.